Good evening and welcome to Ember Squad. I'm here with the streampunks and we're getting ready to kick off our game tonight for the Star Wars Live Play Episode 9. As you all very well know, I'm laughing because it's every time we go live every single week, it's very difficult not to quote Wayne's World right before we get counted into the show. You didn't say 2 or 1. I just can't help myself. Anyway, we're running a little late tonight because unfortunately one of us made the mistake, me, of starting to bring up the new trilogy of Star Wars, which set off a hot debate. And I'm just going to go ahead and call myself out on that. It's my fault, but let's go ahead and jump into the announcements.
Or was it a humble brag?
Was it a humble brag? It might have been. I might have burned down the stream punks a little bit just now, but we're okay. We recovered. We're strengthening the bonds of friendship tonight by being able to vehemently disagree on things. Yes. So let's go ahead and kick stuff off. Right off the bat, I want to give the announcement that I've got a Transformer game, and I guess Quincy's in it too. And it's tomorrow at 5 p.m. over at Play Renegades. Is episode 2 of our Transformers Live actual play. Did the Hasbro lawyers see me? No, they did not. Okay, cool. I've got trackers on those guys. We're good. So that's going to be tomorrow at 5 p.m. And that's on Play Renegade. I don't believe I have any other announcement. Oh, wait, no, I do. I do have another announcement. I'm going to be on Eliza's Marvel game coming up. And I'm just going to pull up the information now because I did not have that ready for myself because I'm juggling 30 plates. That is exciting to announce that 16-Bit Eric will be joining us for a very special guest episode of Marvel's new Vanguard. Who will they be playing and how will they interact with the rest of the team? Come find out this Wednesday, August 24th at 5:30 p.m. PST. So that's this Wednesday. And that is over on Twitch, Kira858. But you'll see it. It's on the Cookout TTRPG. I retweeted it. Okay, I'm terrible at this tonight. Somebody go next. Who has an announcement? Somebody.
I think you're doing great.
Thanks, Vanna.
Sam has one.
Yeah, Sam. Yeah, Sam. Go, Sam. You were going to say something, weren't you, Sam?
Yes, and I asked them to help me remember it. I asked for this. I do this to myself. So last week, Gina DeVivo very slyly said, "Hey, you should really watch Good at Stuff." Next week, someone very close. It's me. I'm going to be on Gina's show as the call-in guest at the beginning. I get to be on Gina DeVivo's show. I get to be interviewed by Gina DeVivo. Gina DeVivo's going to interview me. I've interviewed Gina DeVivo, but now Gina DeVivo's going to interview me, and it's like the night before my birthday, y'all.
Wait, tonight is?
Not chronologically, but emotionally. That excitement that I'm not even going to be able to sleep because it's going to be the best day ever. So that is on Crown Channel at 4 p.m. PST. In conclusion, Gina DeVivo.
Yes, that's.
Sam referring for detail. Who will you be on with?
I couldn't. I feel obligated to bring up that it was Vanna's birthday 3 weeks ago, and it was also Noir's birthday 3 weeks ago.
Eric, what a weird.
Are they?
I know. I even have in my notes, Eric. It's weird to bring this up. Why are you doing it? But I read it anyway. I don't know.
Leo gang.
Yeah.
I almost howled like a wolf, and that doesn't make any sense.
Let's see. What's going on with Morning Ritual? Do you guys have an announcement for Morning Ritual?
Yes.
Yes. We have a guest this week. It is Zerjester, and we're on the lookout for some more guests. So I'm going to be putting out a call for anybody who would like to be on the show, and we'll be putting out a new slate fairly shortly here.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I will be at PAX West when that happens. I'm doing a new merch drop. So last month it was Favorite Enemy Turfs. This month is going to be Favorite Enemy Karens and a plethora of other fun stuff to check out. And yeah, that's everything. You know, there was one piece of news that I geeked out about that I feel like wasn't mentioned. I feel like there's somebody that's writing a pretty cool comic in here.
Dude, I forget to announce that.
I got you.
It's so weird. Yes, I'm writing a comic with Jody Hauser, and it's not just any old comic. We're writing a comic based off of Frank Frasetta's arts. This one's called Dawn Attack. We're doing a couple of issues of that. We've been working on it this weekend. Actually, it's been really exciting because I get to watch Jody Sensei and practice her master craft, and that's been really exciting. I'll have more information about that when it comes out. But it's pretty cool. The Rosetta family said that they loved what we were coming up with. I'm so blown away. But yeah. That's happening too. Thank you for reminding me of that. I'm terrible.
No problem. I was just perusing comic book resources and I was like, I know those names. So that's everything.
Yeah,
that's me.
Yeah, I got congratulated because Bleeding Cool got a piece of information wrong, and I got messaged by a couple of comics industry people going just like, "Welcome to the club," but they were like, apparently I got credited as the artist. I am not the artist for the Frank Frazetta comic. I am absolutely not. But thank you, Bleeding Cool. I appreciate the vote of confidence. Anybody else have any announcements for this evening? No, nothing.
Sam,
Dana, you've got nothing.
I think Sam might have something else.
You've got nothing.
Nothing. Tra la la.
I'm excited.
It's because of Gina. It's not because of the game. Let's go ahead and jump into tonight's.
I just.
And welcome back to Ember Squad. I don't even know what that noise was, but it was funny.
I was panicking.
Okay, excellent. Oh, good. We're all in the same boat. Yes, excellent. So let's go ahead and start off where we left off last week. The Poor Judgment, the name of the ship you all stole. Vanna, it's just some backstory for you. The ship that I described to you that they swiped from the Imperial Star Destroyer before it imploded was a decimator, a light freighter that was geared up to be basically a small troop transport. It's a souped up badass ship that our good friend Noir here's character is very, very happy about. The ship's name was the Judgment, but the moment y'all got onto the flight deck, Elias didn't spare any moment, immediately went over to the ship plaque that said the Judgment and wrote Poor on it, and it has been named the Poor Judgment ever since.
The Sharpie was worth a destiny point.
It was. I didn't actually enforce that, but yes, I did ask for a destiny point for a Sharpie. And that was
I
a
noticed that when I watched after the fact and appreciated you, sir.
Yeah. But Sharpie for Destiny is a great band name, so let's write that one down. So we're gonna start off today's game where we left off after a pretty intense downtime where you guys were actually able to decompress some. It was 3 hours of just nonstop stress of having to battle your way into the Star Destroyer, having to figure a way to get out, to escaping an exploding Star Destroyer, everything that happened. The decompression time was a time to exhale as y'all were traveling through hyperspace with no other choice because you didn't have the destination anymore. Unable to go to Hoth, y'all have had to turn around and head back towards the fleet, sort of start at square one. It was a good plan, and it's pretty much by the book what you should be doing, except for when you leapt out of hyperspace, the Poor Judgment found itself completely alone. The fleet is not here. There is no sign of them. There are no ships appearing on sensors at all. It is empty space. And that is literally where we are picking up tonight, as the Poor Judgment is assessing the situation. Right now, the squad commander, Sergeant Marotillo, is currently on the flight deck looking out into the dead of space, is just leaning over your shoulder, Stucky, and is okay. No problem.
So I'm fairly certain that I didn't make any wrong turns. So
no, Stucky, I think you did okay. He claps you on the shoulder and says, I'm sure you did just fine. This is going to complicate things.
They wouldn't have had to move if they didn't have a reason for it.
which means
Agreed.
that we might not want to be here if
Very
this was deemed an area to not be.
That's a good point.
I'd like to kind of see if there's anything in the vicinity, anything that might give away why they may have left. Any shrapnel, any. I was gonna say warp signatures, but that's the wrong franchise.
I know. Yeah, and so the way this is going to work is you can definitely scan the area to find out if there is anybody nearby. However,
Right.
keeping in mind, in Star Wars, when you scan an area like this, it's like a sonar ping. So passive scans is not a big deal. But if you do any kind of searching through short-range scans of forward or aft, it's going to basically ping and is going to flag you guys. If anybody else is out there looking for ships, you will show up, same as them. That's not necessarily something you have to worry about. You don't know what's out there right now, but it is something to make you aware of.
So I think he's flipping the switches, and before he presses the button, he's just asking, "This a go, or what do you think?"
Tillo considers for a moment, and he says, "Stucky, do me a favor. Before you scan, let's start plotting a hyperspace jump.
Sounds good.
Let's get something loaded into the computer so that if we got to get out of here fast."
I have a suggestion. If
Yeah, I'm all ears.
and I know we don't know where the fleet is, but I know people who could probably find out where the fleet is, and people who we could offload our passenger to.
Wow, you don't have to say it like that.
Well, I mean, it sounds ominous, but it really isn't. They work with Rebellion all the time.
I think the
no.
Wookiee thinks you're talking about them. She thinks you're talking about her.
We're talking about the good doctor.
No, not you. Not you. I'm talking about the
I was like,
evil
I know
wench
when
that's
I'm
currently in
not
our break.
wanted.
Get this Wookiee out of here! No.
Narumno just walks out the air like, "Screw you guys."
That's a reaction. It certainly is.
Okay, so Tillo, when you say this, he takes a moment to consider and says, "All right, Myth, you've got my attention. Who do you think you can contact that'll help us with this? And who can we trust with a VIP prisoner like that?"
The Bothan Spy Network.
Of course. All right.
Even I saw that one coming.
As much as I hate to actually go home.
Is it possible that the fleet left a message behind, a transmission we missed, or some kind of signal that you use in your
Covert
I see what you're saying, like a buoy or something, maybe. Yeah, it's possible. All right, so here's our play then. Let's punch in an astrogation. Let's plot a course, bring the ship to a full stop, plot a course, and do a sweep once we've got that punched in. I'm going to let the crew know what's going on.
So the destination that Stucky is putting in.
Yeah, that's true. You need a destination.
He's putting in the planet of our first mission.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
This time I'm flying a capable brick. So that's the location.
It is true.
Are you? Last time.
Okay, so you
were there. Oh, go ahead.
You basically start bringing up Okaran Prime, start punching it in. It's a little deeper into Okaran Prime is about on the edge of the mid rim, so you're definitely going into the thick of it. But it is a destination that you have ready on hand.
We've been there. We know some of the folks on the ground.
Well, we left there with a heavy Empire presence.
Yeah, we left there with the heavy Empire presence and the thing that the Empire was looking for. I don't think that they're staying where they were robbed. I think they're looking for the robbers. And only an idiot would go back to the scene of the crime. Well, howdy.
All right. In which case, plotting this course, it is a known planet.
Mhm.
It is on a known trade route. So already by default, the difficulty is just going to be a 2.
Okay.
But there's a couple of things that might come into play here. Oh, and you're not rushed for this, and you've got your computer doing business for you. So you're going to get a boost die.
Woo!
And 2, and you're not in a rush, so I'm not going to increase the difficulty of getting out here. Yeah, it'll take you about 5 rounds.
All right.
Go ahead and
Astrogation,
make the check.
baby.
Astrogation roll at difficulty 2.
2 successes.
Okay. So on the computer, you start working the calculations. And as you do that, we are going to pause for a second and roll some destiny dice.
Yes.
All right.
There,
Also-
that was what it was.
Okay. So let's
Also-
get some of the meta stuff off the ground.
Mhm.
I'm going to say, let's start with Elias. Thank you for the dark side point, Elias. I appreciate you.
Again, did it move?
Hey, yo.
Lon, if you would please. Nice. Oh, this is going very good for me tonight. Myth, you could give me 2 dark side points. That'd be really good. One's fine. I'll settle for 1. Narumno, if you would please, click that white die. That white 12-sided die. And oh, thank you.
Foiled again.
Stucky,
All right, I don't love this.
are you going to balance this out? One
Hey,
light
yo.
side.
Oh my god.
Look at that balance.
You brought
My
balance
goodness.
to the force.
Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to roll. Get it out now. I'm rolling your duty rating. Get it out. Get it
That
out.
was your number 2.
That duty.
Mhm.
It's the poo poo pee pee word.
Okay.
We are very high class here.
I know,
On
right?
this
Six.
game
Oh,
punks.
it is going to trigger. Okay.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So y'all are going to gain. Everyone's going to gain +1 to their wound threshold tonight.
Yes.
So
Is that
everyone's
something we
gonna-
can just add to our sheet, or something we should like
Yeah.
note off to the side?
So yeah, it's. Oh, go ahead, Sam. What were you going to say?
That one we've accomplished pretty well by moving our threshold into negative numbers.
Yeah.
Or your
So
current
just-
into negative, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just
Yeah.
click -1, and that's how we increase how many wounds you can take. Does that
Okay,
make sense?
so I already have -1 wounds. Should I
Oh,
do
then
it?
you're good.
Should I do okay? Because it resets every session.
Yeah.
Okay.
You should be fine. Let's see. 36. 36 is actually 36.
Or
is
should it be
actually-
-2 since mine was -1 last? Well, I don't know what damage I took last game, I guess.
Yeah. No, you're good. You actually didn't take any. You mowed down a dark trooper. You did.
So
great.
I should be -2? I was
no, you should
already-
be -1. -1's right. That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was already at it from the last time I played.
Yeah, I think that was because of everyone. I think that's because everybody got their duty score rolled. Get it out. Just get it out. That's because everybody got that the first time, so it just didn't get adjusted. So it's fine leaving it at -1.
Your per session
And-
is not cumulative as much as we'd like to just gain
Gotcha.
it back.
So why
Myth.
is myths +1?
Myth. did you
Because I
take it?
accidentally double clicked instead of clicking
Oh,
once.
I see. I see.
So I just added one.
Okay. Sorry.
Myth, I did. This is actually really appropriate considering you're the one that's initiating where to take our prisoner, but gain 2 to your wound threshold, and one of your duty is basically going to trigger. Wait. Good. Yes, okay.
Oh no.
I just
Trigger
gotta.
duty.
I gotta
Yeah.
go use
So,
real quick.
It's an emergency.
so counterintelligence is going to trigger this game. That'll be good. Okay. So that's being punched in. Real quick. This is kind of a somber note, but I need to bring it up because it's been a big deal since we've been starting to play, and it's worth bringing up. So, joking aside for just one quick second, the last couple of games we've had the great privilege of calling upon our Ox crew for boost dice. This is something we've been doing quite often because you guys are supporting us, and this is your opportunity to sort of like be involved in helping in the success of the narrative of the Ember Squad. In the middle, in that great high tier of super punks, one of the people that we have constantly called upon who has been contributing to the success of streampunks, who has given us over $500 over the past few months, and who has been called upon again and again and again to deliver boost dice, is our super punk. And I apologize if I get a little emotional here, and I'm sorry for bringing the game down for a second, but a super punk named QueueTimes, who unfortunately just passed away this past week, was a very, very good friend of Bonnie Gordon's and was an ardent supporter of the streampunks. I have in my notes, every week we've been using boost dice from QueueTimes. So tonight, everyone in the group is going to get a free boost dice from QueueTimes to use. It does not go towards the limit that you guys get per game. So thank you, Q. Okay. Ooh, that was harder than I thought it was going to be. So now then, you've got the astrogation roll that you're plotting, and you've punched it in. I'm going to say about 5 minutes passes when on the intercoms, Tillo gets onto the comms to everybody and kind of exposits the situation that they're in. You guys hear echoing over the speaker down into the this common area of the ship, echoing overhead, that the fleet was not there when you guys arrived. And right now Stucky is plotting a course, just picking a destination for us to go to on one of the hyperlanes, and that we're getting out of here as quickly as we can if we end up in trouble and having to jump if we scan anybody. So everybody's brought up to speed as to what's going on. And the comm flicks off.
Well,
all right. With successes in play, you manage to punch in all the information required, Stucky. You get the data entered into the astrogation channel, and it is ready to go. You can now run a computer scan. But as a pilot, you should know that if you make any adjustments to your current location, you only have a few rounds before you're going to have to start recalculating because of the galactic drift. You're going to have to start recalculating your astrogate jump. So go ahead and make your computer's check to scan, and you're going to get a free boost die from the ship.
Okie dokie. Well,
you got a co-pilot, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yeah. You can. Oh, you know what? You can actually use Myth's computer score here. You guys can combine your computer score. So what is your computer score?
Mine is yellow green.
How about yours, Myth?
My computer's is 2 yellows and a green.
Okay, so you're gonna gain. So basically, what happens is your green, your yellow. You have a yellow and a green. That green is going to upgrade to a yellow, and you're going to gain an additional green.
Woo! Okay.
On top of the boost die.
Alrighty. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is gonna. It's gonna be 2.
All right. Let's do something stupid fast.
6 successes and 1 advantage. With 6 successes and 1 advantage. Yeah.
Not the dab stop.
And this is in game. Stucky's just hitting it.
Yeah. So with 6 successes and 1 advantage, Stucky, you actually are able to detect that in the past few days there has been displacement from hyperspace jumps in this vicinity. Currently, there are no ships around. So thankfully, no one's lurking to jump out at you, or no one that doesn't have a cloaking device of some kind. But like, apparently the scopes are clear right now. Nobody is here.
Okay. So good news, bad news, gang. Good news is nobody's out to kill us near us. Bad news is a bunch of people left and I have no idea where they went.
For a second, I thought you were going to say that there's nobody out to kill us yet.
Oh, no, there's plenty of people. I mean, just me alone before I even joined the rebellion.
You're trying to kill us?
Oh no! There are people out here trying to kill me. Yeah, you know what? I would never.
The nuances of Shriwook can get kind of tangled. If you're not very specific when you're talking about the Wookiee, they'll think you're threatening her.
Are you saying that it can get kind of hairy?
Oh,
I take offense to that.
It's sucky as panicking. The last thing you want is for a Wookiee to think that you're trying to attack.
yeah,
Could be worse. That could be a Wookiee robot. So
that's true.
But that's a new nightmare I did not need in my life. You know what? We still have your gun on the tractor beam. Yeah, we could send someone out there to bring that in for you.
That's true.
I'd
we
appreciate
do.
that.
Meanwhile, I want to walk up to the cockpit deck just because I
Okay.
assume that I was just engineing.
Yeah, you can get to the flight deck is easy. You move up to the second, essentially the second deck on the vessel. It's spacious in here. As a quick reminder, it is not the same as like the compact, tight Corellian freighters. It is actually almost a bridge, so it's quite wide. When you get up there, you can see there's a heated discussion going on about what to do next.
So where are we going? I heard over comms that we have a plan. Do we have a plan?
I mean, I had a plan if things went poorly, and they didn't. So I have no plan now.
So do we? I have a location that we can go to.
Bothan spies.
Where is this location you're talking about?
Oh, it's not Bathawui. That's a bit more complicated. But
Baba boy,
Bathawui?
Baba.
Bathawui. That's the planet that the Bothans come from.
Oh,
That's a little bit
familiar
more
with-
complicated.
Baba Booey.
Bathawui.
Baba boy, Baba Booey.
Bathawui. But I guess if you're all ready, you could meet my mother.
well, I mean, our
Well,
first
we just
thing-
met. That seems a little inappropriate.
A little bit.
I
A little
think
forward, I know.
Yeah.
I think something that we should all consider is that we are flying a imperial vessel here, and if
Oh,
we
yeah.
if we just kind of
Pop
you know
in.
pop in, I'm not sure it's gonna get the reaction that we would like. And if you're trying to get us to go to a spy network while we're in an imperial vessel,
Well, the won't be necessarily so much of a problem, but it is a little bit complicated. Yes, I can't necessarily call ahead is the other thing.
well,
They're covert people in covert places.
Well,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say before we move, can we search for maybe some remnant left behind from the fleet? Perhaps there's already something in place for us to follow up with before we start making our own plans.
Like a beacon or something. A buoy.
I mean,
A Baba
yeah.
buoy.
Perhaps there's a Baba Booey.
I asked the
Perhaps our companies work a bit differently, and I know every crew has their kind of own methods of covert communication. So I'm sure all of you would know better than I how your particular company functions. But there's usually some sort of backup if the regular communications are not enough.
I do ask the sergeant, Sergeant Tillo. If the fleet had to leave in a hurry, would they have left a breadcrumb for us, or would that have been too big of a risk for the Empire to follow them wherever they went?
No, they wouldn't have left anything behind.
Fair
Can't
enough.
risk it.
So, where's your mom at? On the outer rim or somewhere more dangerous?
Mid-rim, it's easier to pass information along.
Then what's
Okay.
the plan from there? Do we have to do a reverse spy network thing? I know that the spy network gets Imperial information to the Alliance, but Does it get Alliance information to the network?
Well, that's the gamble, right?
Can I be a spy? The ceiling cat, which heretofore has been alternately alarmed and briefly confused.
God, gee, how long have you been up there?
So yeah, just because not everyone has the descriptor, there is a gun turret that is located over the deck of the bridge, and right now hanging upside down out of it is this kid with a big smile on their face.
Wait, what?
So
wait, is it Neru's gun?
It's literally like the top of this vessel actually there is a ventral and dorsal gun turret. So the dorsal gun turret right now sits above the bridge and has an access hatch that you can get into the gun turret up there. And just dangling suddenly out from the hatch, like under the bridge, all of you see Elias. Just, do I get to be a spy?
Can I grab them gently, not forcefully, and just flip them around and set them on the floor?
They weigh like 2.5 pounds, so yes.
I guess it was more a question of like, do they resist that action?
While that seems academic, they're excited to be brought into the conversation of being a spy.
It's remarkable how incredibly easy this Wookiee basically gently flips you around and sets you down onto the ground, bringing you into the conversation.
I understand.
Well, if I may, I mean, I would recommend a pit stop, and it might be a little dumb, but again, wherever we go, we are in a giant vessel that screams that we are the enemy of the people that are our allies. And I think it might be worth investing in something that lets them know that we aren't them.
Are we thinking about a new paint job, a new spoiler out there? What do you have in mind?
Is the Wookiee literally just going? Like,
no, Havana is. I just don't want to talk over anyone.
Oh no, go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Go ahead.
Can I spend a light side point for Neru to know a guy who runs a body shop that specifically does like cosmetic customs, like LEDs and paint, like exotic
LED,
paint jobs and
fuzzy dice. Yes,
like
absolutely.
we can add a Hatsune Miku on the side or something.
And there's just a button that screams, "It's your birthday!" And there's fireworks everywhere.
And there's a blender, a popcorn machine in the back. Real Pimp My Ride energy.
If you want to spend a light side point, you can make
Is
it.
that okay with everyone?
Absolutely. Would you mind terribly? Because I do have black market contacts that the person you suggest is somebody that Stucky already knows.
Oh, that's great.
You can even make the suggestion. I just want it to happen. It doesn't have to come from my character.
I kind of love the idea that the Wookiee is like, oh, we should go to like the famous the famous black market contact, Zibbit.
You know Zibbit?
Zibbit.
You know
I'm writing
Zibbit?
it down.
Not Zibbit.
The X is silent.
I heard you like dodging Imperial, so I
Zibbit the
So I put
Ugnaught.
an Imperial on your Imperial so you can Imperial
I put a transponder scrambler in your transponder scrambler. You can escape the Imperial while you escape the Imperial.
Oh,
I'm understanding a little and also losing a lot.
Wait, was that Sam or was that Elias?
No, that's Sam.
Elias is much more paced, so I think you can tell into the
They take half an hour.
So,
there's no filter here.
Are you unfamiliar with Pimp My Ride, Sam?
I'm aware of its existence because people say mildly unwelcome things about my wheelchair to me in connection.
Fair. Are you familiar with the meme structure where
The
it
meme
doesn't
structure
matter
is the
about
part I know.
Okay.
I would give anything and everything to just binge watch Pimp My Ride with you, Sam.
So we're doing a watch along, and you will get into my messages later.
Oh my
Okay.
god.
We'll have to get into the details at some future time because I think we have to jump to a modder to a paint job.
Yes. So Stucky's gonna go. Yeah, it's Zibbit usually hangs on the outer rim, was a good friend of the family. I can get us there, and the heat should only be moderate when we pull up in this thing, and hopefully it'll be less so when we pull out.
Don't say that.
Let's roll with pulling out.
It's not an effective form of birth control.
We are in
Right, everybody.
I only understand conversational Shriwook. I am convinced I misheard this.
Mhm. Yeah, you kind of double back for a second, Elias. Like, wait, nope, I need to practice.
My Shriwook is also very rusty, but I'd like to put in the coordinates, and we're gonna do this damn thing.
Okay, this is going to be an Outer Rim world.
Yep. Real shady type stuff.
Okay. Cool. All right. So you're plotting a course for a world called Covey 2. Covey 2 is going to be a little off the beaten path, but because you guys spent a light side point, I'm going to say that you know how to get there. You've got the coordinates set, so you can do some of the astrogation rolls without getting a heavy penalty for punching it in. So let me just look at the astrogation cheat sheet here. Okay, so you are familiar with the world. It is a little off the beaten path. It is not a known trade route. So, but I would say it's a minor sector trade route. So instead of the standard, I will go ahead and give you a +1 boost die to that. The computer will also give you a boost die, and of course, I'm guessing Myth is going to help you here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think
So
I could also help if I am also familiar with one Zibbit.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I'll give you an extra boost die from Nem. Yeah, the Wookiee's should be able to give you some pointers too on
I'm
the
rolling a
calculations.
lot of dice here.
So Neru is going to give you that too. Yeah, so it's there's no setback dice or anything. It's just a straight difficulty of 2.
Okie dokie.
I know. I'm sorry, Sam. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, everybody.
We all have difficulty with.
I know. We all do. 6 successes, 1 advantage. Didn't you literally just roll that?
That's the same.
I
You
rolled
rolled
it once and I liked it, so we're doing it again.
Great.
Okay.
Great.
So you start punching in the calculations. A few moments later, the ship's thrusters begin to immediately angle it. So you see the star field in front of the cockpit window begin to spin a little bit as it just angles into a more alignment with the galactic axis, and you guys jump to hyperspace.
I love
now remember, this ship is a lot faster than your last one. It has a hyperspace rating of 1, so you guys are flying like a bat out of hell right now. Let me just go ahead and say, with 6 successes, which actually for each, so you guys are actually going to have, let's see, additional better positioning. So you can actually, how many advantages did you roll? 1. So 1 advantage will reduce the travel time by up to 10%. So you're going to be there in 2 days.
Yo, we're saving some parsecs, y'all.
Yeah. So good roll. 2 days, and with 6 successes means you can basically come out of hyperspace in system.
Yeah.
So it'll be an easy arrival. Okay. So once that happens, Tillo exhales for a second. Anybody who's on the bridge, let's see, everybody's on the bridge if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So pretty much everyone's piled in here. I'm actually gonna have Elias make a perception check. The difficulty of 3.
Sam said
No, I'll keep it 2. I'll keep it 2 and give you a setback die. Make a perception check.
A xenomorph.
I want to see if you notice the cross between Palpatine Xenomorph standing behind you.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's just a xenomorph in a hood.
Yeah.
The
The
little mouth,
scariest thing.
the little mouth comes out.
The little mouth is just pale as fuck.
Sorry, I was distracted by the horror trope. The difficulty was 2 and a setback.
Difficulty
You
was
said?
2 with 1 setback. Yes, please.
Ox boost.
You got it. Thank you,
Thank
Q40.
you. I don't know.
Okay.
2
threats. I'll bank those.
Do you have to?
No. Okay. Elias, you being probably the most perceptive person in the party, being, the sniper, and also being the closest to him, probably because you two are close to each other's height, you notice that Tillo, for the first time you've seen him, you get the impression he's kind of masking his uncertainty right now. He resembles to you like a leader who's trying not to let on that he doesn't know what's going on. You immediately get the vibe of like uncertainty. And he doesn't catch you spotting him. Instead, he just swivels to the right and says, all right, I'm going to be in my quarters. If anybody needs me, I'm just going to take this moment to rest. And you should all do the same if you've got any time. Don't forget to get hydrated, all that stuff. We're still recovering from our last mission out.
Will do.
And abruptly rolls out of the room, gets into the harness, just goes back down to the deck and disappears.
Not one to brag, but you see how smooth I got in system? Like that was.
Do you often speak so highly of your own actions?
All the time.
I mean, when they're as
Interesting.
impressive as that, I listen. I didn't want to bring it up, but I once did the Kessel run in 17 parsecs, which is a pretty big deal.
I don't understand that reference.
You guys see this coming up into the flight deck. You see MT, and MT just stops.
Hi, MT.
Hello. I am a part of the conversation now.
Hi, coworker.
Hello, coworker.
Well,
How are you
Stucky
feeling?
was. Oh,
Better. Thank you.
What is wrong with Stucky? Does Stucky require medical attention?
Nope.
I don't know. Perhaps you could work on shrinking his ego a bit.
I'm not sure that's possible, as it's very difficult to
no.
quantify.
Because it's so much, so big.
It's effective, charming, enduring a little bit.
I am being presented evidence that the answer to your question is yes.
Well, MT, to get you up to speed, we are taking a detour, since we can't reunite with the fleet, to make some modifications to this. And I tap the bulkhead.
Okay. That should be entertaining. For who, I don't know. I came up here to also allow you to be informed of the status of the prisoner.
I'm not a prisoner.
I am pleased to hear
Again,
this.
not you.
It would be such a turn of events if the crew had not informed me that we were taking you prisoner. Also, I still possess my arms. I have to assume that if you were not under attack, I wouldn't have my arms.
If I were
Ma'am?
not under attack, I would not have my arms.
Forgive me. I'm experiencing mild irritation.
For why?
I had a conversation earlier with Dr. Gilliso that I found very irritating.
Is that the prisoner?
That is the prisoner.
What happened?
She was very rude.
That sounds like real prisoner behavior.
Gran says, "Why is everyone up on the flight deck? So you guys having a party without me?"
Just everybody's coming to my office all of a sudden. I mean,
Is there enough room up there for one more?
I mean, yes,
I'll make room.
you missed the action. I brought it in smooth as yak milk. It was great.
What is a yak?
Thing on the
Yes.
outer world. Oh, so
Is that blue?
it's green, but that's not important. What is important is, look, I know these guys. You should let me do some of the talking with Zib. He's a bit of a interesting individual. Things are a little different on the outer rim. You know, not so civilized, not so clean cut. So just keep your eyes to the prize. Don't do anything to scare anybody. All right, we've got this.
Well, I'm sure if they're honest workers with a hardworking team, we should be in good hands if you trust them.
See that kind of
honest.
talk.
The fur on the face is bristling a little bit.
Oh dear.
It's
Wait.
not that we're not honest. We just have our own code. Okay, that's how it is out here.
Is the implication here that the group of you is dishonest?
I'm completely honest. You can believe everything I say.
And you do
I did.
say a lot. So
I mean, it's all accurate as well. So I'm gonna just get dressed for the occasion. And you see, he starts to take the stormtrooper armor off of me.
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna go find the Sarge. I leave.
Just abrupt, like Elias is gone.
Um,
Like Elias just heel turns and is gone.
Are they
I
okay?
don't know.
Is who okay?
Elias.
Was Elias here? MT starts looking around. They are very difficult to keep track of aboard this ship for some reason.
I think it's because you're 5 times taller than them.
Yes, I have also noticed this is a bit of a setback in keeping track of Elias's health.
I think Elias is physically fine.
If they
You
were,
know.
they wouldn't tell me. Unless they wanted a lollipop.
Well, how often do they want a lollipop?
Processing. Often.
Oh, well then it's probably good. They probably let you know if they're not
That is
feeling
true.
well.
And now I know how to use the ship's intercom.
That's a nightmare.
Well,
I feel like this is an inside joke.
There was a bit
Reference to
with
last
the,
episode.
the last episode. There was a bit where Myth told Gina to hold on, and so Gina had
Stand by.
stand by. So MT literally just stood there by the intercom
for the
for like
next-
45 minutes.
I
Literally
love
standing
MT with my whole ass.
So say we all.
while Stucky's getting changed, I'll go. Ahead of meeting your friends here, should we come up with some specific plans and requests for this guy? Can I tap the bulkhead again?
Have you heard of Hatsune Miku?
I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with the slang on Kashyyyk.
She is a goddess with blue hair. An idol.
I wasn't aware they had blue Wookiees. I imagine that must be very exciting to see.
She's not a Wookiee.
Oh,
She's a human.
I didn't know that Wookiees worshipped human goddesses.
I don't worship her. I just am a fan.
Oh. May I be a fan of hers too, then?
Please.
I am.
heard
now.
Please
It's a very
canonically
famous novel.
lock that in.
It is
Yeah,
done.
I think it's at this point Stucky's gonna come up with just like a vest covering himself,
Okay.
pants and his blaster.
Okay.
Like really
Looking a
dingy.
little more roguish.
Yeah. All right, so we all ready to embark?
I mean, it's
Disembark.
going to be a couple days, right? Should we come up with what exactly our requests are going to be?
Yeah, you've probably got about another day and a half worth of travel.
I thought I was so much,
Stucky's ready to get off the ship.
I thought I was so much faster than I actually was.
That's okay. A lot of men think that they're lasting a long time when it's really only been 2 seconds.
Why is we should have did we warn the audience they were going to be sick burns? I figure like
I'm so sorry. I don't know what to come up with. I adore you, Noah.
well
My
you
emotions have been critically hit.
Noah's rolling on the critical hit table. While the crew, Elias, while you have moved away from the flight deck, you're actually hearing something that you are kind of heartened to hear as you're heading down into the corridors where the quarters are for the crew. You hear the Ember Squad up on the flight deck of the Poor Judgment laughing and cracking jokes and poking fun at each other. You can hear, for the first time that this crew has come together, it's been under nonstop threat, a constant push to meet deadlines, a constant push to escape the incoming empire, then like being dragged out of hyperspace. Even when you guys were on the Rock Skipper, things were still a little tense because you're waiting for the next mission. This is the first time you've heard Ember Squad bonding. And you can hear like the laughter of the Wookiee, and you can hear MT saying something outrageous, and you can hear Lon making some kind of obvious educated snide remark that is just riddled, just pure dry humor, and it just keeps going. And I'm going to give everyone a +1 bonus to their strain threshold.
Hey, yo.
Hey, yo.
So I want it to go down.
Yeah, hit negative. Basically just
Okay.
increases your how much you have to click it before you max out. Yeah, so -1 is kind of how it reflects that. And at that point, Elias, as you're hearing that in the background, you come up to one of the few quarters that has been chosen, has been picked. Nobody's really kind of put their boots in any of the quarters yet. No one's really picked where they're sleeping just yet. But all the quarters are opened except for one. And that's where you've come to a stop where you know it's close inside.
Hey, Sarge.
Yeah, come on in. When you enter, you catch Tillo just as he is finished putting on a tank top and like getting a little more comfortable. And you notice for the first time, Elias, as he's put this on, that his right arm is bionic. It looks like it's attached to about the midsection of the arm. You can hear the servos moving in his fingers. Is just and just kind of pulls it over and he goes, "Hey, Elias, what can I do for you?" He swivels the chair to face you.
It's just we had a lot of plans, and I'm more used to the briefings that we were doing. That was really helpful for me, and everything just felt really sort of freestyle. And I hope maybe, and they kind of make moves towards sitting down. You could talk me through everything we're doing and just kind of get everything settled.
He reaches over and he moves his big equipment pack, his soldier pack, from the side of the bed so you can take a seat. And he moves over, turns his chair towards the bed and pulls his legs up and situates them right onto the bed and leans back and says, "So you want some kind of briefing?"
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to make you do a lot of work, Sarge. That's your time's important. I just thought maybe it'd help going over everything, just kind of feeling solid on it, you know?
He looks at you kind of inquisitively for a moment and says, "I think I understand." I wasn't there to see it, but I heard you put a blaster shot into a proton torpedo warhead to kill a dark trooper.
Yeah.
You know that's the kind of shit people are going to want to throw drinks in your face for, right? And I mean that in a positive way. The next time we're at a barrack, everyone's going to try to get you drunk. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
It's not.
Nah. It's never worth it, really. I'm just saying, get prepared to be celebrated. It's going to be very uncomfortable.
Maybe I like it. I bet Stucky would like it.
Stucky would love that.
Yeah. Maybe I do too.
All right, then. Keep it up. You can just rack up a whole jacket full of medals at this rate.
I don't have to wear them all the time, do I?
If dress uniform's called for, yeah, you do.
They have dresses?
Not that I'm aware of, but
Okay.
the uniform code in the rebellion's kind of lax anyway.
Are we gonna have those? What's
I don't know. It
are we gonna be
depends.
them? I just sort of look around this like very imperial compartment that it's like dark Apple store in here.
You want to know if we're going to beat the Empire?
No, if we're gonna be like them all.
Well, we're not going to be like them, but there are certain institutions in terrible situations like this where you'd be surprised to learn that little things like having uniforms actually is quite helpful. We humans are not the only pack animals in the galaxy, and community and bringing us together and having a chain of command and all of these other things that bring us a sense of stability and belonging. They make a big difference in really scary times like this.
I stand up. Thank you, Sarge. That was really helpful.
What are you doing right now? He narrows his eyes at you.
Talking to Miss Sarge.
All right, carry on.
Elias is gonna beeline. There may or may not be someone else for it, but like in my heart, they beeline for MT.
Okay.
Wherever she might be. Last I heard, she was talking, and Stucky was relaxed enough to laugh at the same time in the same room, which is amazing. But you know, bit of tense.
So MT has been taking to do this. MT2 is currently standing just on the other side of the corridor near the common area of the ship. I say it like that because that's literally what MT is doing. Like an NPC in a video game, she just seems to be standing there with no objective. She's just literally standing there. And when you approach, her head swivels and goes, "Elias, how are you feeling?"
I'm feeling good. Listen, I think we need to build a bigger patch, an Ember Squad patch for like morale and stuff.
Do you mean create a medical patch in the shape of the Ember Squad logo?
Medical patch.
Possible, but it could take some time. I would need access to everyone's first aid kits.
Not the medicine kind. Like the decorative kind. And well, you know sometimes swapping something out for something sentimental can really help. Like the flight stick. This would be like the flight stick, but for the whole squad.
She's quiet. It stretches on for a moment until finally she says, "How do you know about the flight stick?"
So you're not going to help me?
What was the request?
Crafting. Patch.
Crafting a patch. Yes,
Morale.
I can craft a patch for morale. I would require coworker Elo's help, as they are more of an engineer than I. I repair people.
I think this will help do that. I'll go ask Lon. And they start to move and then they stop. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna move before there are any more questions about the flight deck.
And they continue. They are on your heels, following after you. As you continue moving, like practically leaning over you as they walk. Just Lon, you of course hear MT coming down the corridor. I'm going to say, Lon, at this point, you are claiming a quarters, like one of the quarter bays. They're all the quarters here for the squad. There are 6 rooms that are currently open. So.
I want to say that before I did come down here, part of what I was trying to hint at earlier was trying to meet with Stucky about what mods we're going to put on the ship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stucky's going to meet with you as well about that.
Okay.
We can do that at a later scene. Just wanted to make sure you knew.
You've got
I'm also there.
You also want to contribute to this.
Even though it's not going to be my ship permanently.
You say that now.
Yeah, exactly.
So in that case, I'm not only picking quarters, but I'm also trying to find like paper or little metal pieces to be able to like physically think with.
Okay, you're looking for fidgets, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. In which case, I'm going to say that you hear the. It's very unlikely you would have ever heard Elias, because Elias usually isn't heard unless they want to be heard. But MT, on the other hand,
Honestly,
you're kind of surprised when you see turning the corner Elias, and then a second later, MT behind Elias.
Well, that makes more sense.
Hi, Lon. How are things?
Oh, I'm just we have a day and a half to figure things out and to figure out what's next, and I just wanted to work a little with my hands. What's up?
Can Elo come play?
Ask Elo.
Again, it is just whistling.
Yeah, you just start whistling. There is a blinking light underneath a folded silk wrapping that was given to Elo as a bed. And a few moments later, hovering up, sliding out from underneath it, the little discs looking like droid hovers up and swivels and looks in your direction and said, "Hello? I heard someone speaking terrible droid just now."
Yeah, MT and Elias here are inviting you out, I guess.
We're going out? Aren't we in hyperspace?
Yeah, we'll have to go out later. I hope we can land.
Me too. I also share this hope.
I mean, before we get Narumnu's gun.
Is that still being dragged by the tractor beam? Does the Wookiee know? Is Stucky still alive?
Yes.
Yes, MT says. Stucky is currently operating at 105% of his usual vital signs. Elo says, "I don't know what that means." MT says, "He's experiencing mild anxiety because I was in the flight deck just a few moments ago." Oh.
So can Elo come
like,
play?
I think they're asking to work on a project with you, and I'm fine for now if you want to.
Yes, I would love to.
And I just wave my hand like from Elo toward the other two.
Elo just immediately flies over to you and hovers right in front of you and says, "Where are we going? Are we stealing something? Are we cutting off the flight stick of another X-Wing?"
I look back to MT and I look to Elo and I say, "Come on, let's see if we can scavenge a kit."
Yes. And no.
Thank you. to
MT
Lon.
was answering me. Okay, bye. And then Ella flies out, and MT kind of turns away as the awkward moment passes, and you watch the droid and the sniper move out into the hallway, and you hear them disappearing with the heavy thudding sounds of MT and the distant hovering sounds of your mini droid. Just what else is going on elsewhere on board the ship?
I think after getting changed, and the ribbing, Stucky's gonna go. I should probably we should discuss what some of the changes that we want to the ship. Mainly they're just gonna be aesthetic. So and I think he's talking to I'm gonna butcher your name. I'm so sorry. Nurmanu.
Naruto, but
You can just call her
Naruto.
Noru. Noru.
So he's just gonna look to Nuru and go. So you're more than welcome to join me. I
Wait, is the implication here that I followed you to your changing?
No, he came back to the flight.
Oh,
He came
okay.
back. Listen, Stucky would have made a whole elaborate thing if he was inviting anybody to his court. It's a gentleman that way.
I'm sorry, I thought I saw invitation in your eyes.
You know, I'm all dressed up and nowhere to go, so I'm just gonna talk shop with Lon. You're more than welcome to join. Look, about your gun, I tried to get it out of the tractor beam before we went to hyperspace again.
Wait, can we not get it?
We're gonna have to land, is the thing. I thought maybe we could send a droid or something out there, and it's just, I mean, it's really in there. It's like it's in the.
Can't you just tractor beam it?
Normally, it to be fair, I was setting a designation, and it was my first time using this tractor beam, and it may.
Is there a wide variation in how tractor beams function?
Well, I mean, yes, there's a feel to it. It's like there's its own kind of science, and your gun may or may not be caught in some exhaust that I didn't see. So good news, it's double secure to the ship. Bad news, I can't pull it in is the issue. So, but we can get it when we land.
We really need to work on phrasing, I think.
Yeah, you pull it in and pull it out a lot.
I don't understand, Shreewook. What is wrong?
Why is this Wookiee always laughing at me every time I open my mouth?
I'm sorry, do you not have the sex?
The sex? It's like a particular sex?
Mating.
Like, are you asking if I'm
sexually active?
I do okay. I'm really busy with the rebellion right now.
I'm just trying to explain the misunderstanding, because when you do the sex, you sometimes you go in and out.
Why is it the sex for you Wookiees?
I don't know. Maybe something's lost in translation. I'm just trying to talk about the sex.
Okay, well,
and you push in and you pull out.
No,
sometimes it's not always like that.
Aware of the mechanics of how it goes about
on who your partner is, but
I mean, they're the fundamentals are generally the same all the way around. But I'm just saying.
So we agree.
I mean, I don't know what has happened, but yes.
I want to happen to you right now. Be on her. Hey, just a little bit of Stucky. You ready to talk yet, or?
Yes, I've had sex. Lon,
Lon, you walk into the flight deck just in time to see Stucky in a fit of rage shouting at the Wookiee at the top of his lungs, and there's a silence that fills the flight deck.
And I did okay, I think. What did you want, Lon?
I was wondering if you want to grab a drink and talk about ship modifications. You know, we're not limited to a paint job. Did I interrupt something? I can come back later.
I was just trying to explain perhaps our confusion and communication.
You know, it happens. I think it's really important for people who work together to. Has Myth been holding it the whole time?
Myth's been just watching this whole thing in terror.
The Bothan is just staring at this exchange.
You just see like this guy who tries to be suave and cool all the time, breaking under pressure.
Actually, on that note, do me a favor. Do me a favor, Myth. Make me a computers check.
For sure.
Because one of the things, if I remember correctly, you did was you accessed all of the files on the ship when you were trying to discover stuff. And I'm just going to, you were basically trying to figure out what was on the mainframe of the ship. I'm going to treat
the security rod as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm going to treat this so that some of the data is finally coming back as it's mined a bunch of the data in the ship itself.
Sounds good. What's the difficulty?
Difficulty is 1.
Okay, sounds great.
Yep, because you've got that data rod.
And I'm going to use my boost die as well.
Okay.
Thank you, Q.
Thank you, Q.
4 successes, 2 advantages.
Nice. Okay. Okay, so you can hold on to those advantages. So some of the computer information starts to come in sporadically. It's been doing that a lot as it's basically been mining all of the information from the ship. You've been going back to when you first started mining the ship for information. The basic information you got back is the judgments, its transponder codes, that it was in transit, that it was going to be used for special forces. Now it's coming through that you are coming to the feedback is like what its destination was, that it was actually it wasn't on loan, it was to be delivered. This is actually a ship that was being stocked so that it could be delivered. Before I tell you what it is, I want to know if Myth is going to be able to recognize it. Now, I'm taking into account that you are technically an intelligence officer.
Mm-hmm.
And as an intelligence officer, you're going to have a little more access to the certain know-how of the Imperial war machine. So that being said, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you roll. Actually, any of these would be good. I'm going to have you roll warfare.
Okay.
And I'll give you a boost die that I feel is thematically appropriate because being a part of the Bothan spy network and whatnot, you would probably have access to this.
Standard difficulty 2?
Yes.
Okay. 2 successes, 1 advantage.
2 successes, 1 advantage. Right, stand by 1 sec. You're basically skimming through the information, and when you see it pop up, there's an immediate sense of dread that flows over you because the Bothan spy network is very familiar with this. You see this ship was going to be specifically delegated to a small Imperial vessel that you've never heard of before. But it is... Apparently, it was supposed to be transferred to the command of somebody named Commander Iden Versio. And you see what it does is it lists, you see the image of a young woman with dark black hair in like Imperial uniform. You see she's like standing upright, sort of like dark tan skin, dark brown eyes, a very serious look on her face. And you see her accommodations and whatnot coming up as a commander of the Imperial forces. But what attracts your attention is the word Inferno Squad. That's listed right underneath. She is the commanding officer of the Inferno Squad, and apparently this ship was being sent to be a transport ship for that particular special forces unit. They are notorious for being one of the most lethal special forces units in the history of the Empire. A short history, to be sure, but it would give the Clone Wars a run for their money. They are known to be exact and are known to do some of the most dangerous, most lethal missions They've accomplished things that you guys have accomplished.
Oh no. I found out who we stole the ship from.
The Empire.
Yes, but specifically who we stole the ship from. We stole it from a very specific kill team.
Kill team.
Inferno Squad.
Hey,
So the
Inferno
poetic.
Ember Squad.
Yeah, but like us, but for the Empire and on steroids.
Oh, like Dark Us?
Yeah. Mirror Us?
Do we have anything on their pilot? How good are they? How fast?
Can I pull up
Yes,
files
her
on
file
Inferno
is
Squad?
available. She is an ace Imperial fighter pilot. She pilots a TIE Interceptor as her weapon of choice. She has a record of 15 victories on her scorecard right now, and it looks like she is a known sniper and head of the Inferno Squad unit.
Oh my gosh,
She is
me and Elias.
She is listed as one of the most dangerous. Her and the Inferno Squad is one of the most dangerous units the Galactic Empire has in operation right now.
So, we just made some pretty powerful enemies if they realize who stole their ship. So it's actually a very good thing that we're going to get it modified.
Can the poor judgment hold a fighter?
No,
Okay.
unfortunately. You can hold speeder bikes though. Speeder bikes, swoop bikes, things that are silhouette 2 could fit inside here, no problem. But a fighter is silhouette 3. No, I think a TIE fighter is silhouette 3 for a TIE fighter. And your ship is silhouette 4.
Okay. Well, I mean, I could take them on.
The question is if they want it back and come looking for it.
On the bright side, they're a ship short.
Well, they're this ship short.
You're not wrong.
Well, there was more than one ship on that thing we blew up, so
All the more reason that we should probably augment this to all hell.
Well, I mean, we destroyed the delivery vessel, so hopefully they think that it was also destroyed in the wreckage of the.
And you ensured that no pinging or no signals have come out of this while I've been flying, all right?
I disabled all of those. They're good.
That I will just, as a quick revisitation of that, because it was a roll, and I just want to, as your GM, so that no one thinks the GM's out to get them, I will confirm Myth did a very good job at completely shutting down any ability to track the vessel.
All right. Well, let's put a coat of paint on her. Add a couple of bells and whistles.
Maybe get you a cup holder.
I did want to just say one thing real quick, though. You guys were spotted when you were jumping out of the system.
Yeah.
By a friend?
By Imperials.
By an Imperial Star Destroyer and Victory Class 2 Star Destroyer and 2 escort frigates.
We were spotted jumping out of the systems, so they know that we have their ship.
I mean,
they don't know who we are, but they know
theoretically.
we have their ship.
Yeah, I know it's hard to remember because I dusted them so hard. You're all very welcome for that, by the way. It was a master class of escaping.
I think if it was a master class, they wouldn't have seen us.
I could only adjust for so much. Why are you like this, Naru?
I'm just trying to help.
I thought bookings were only a threat to your body, not your emotions.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Down below,
and figure out how to make this seem less like Inferno Squad ship.
I think the mural will help.
Mural? Like what mural? What are we
The
talking?
Hatsune Miku mural that we all agreed on.
It's gonna go on the outside of the ship.
Yes.
Hatsune Miku riding some sort of horned beast.
Yes. Yes.
Well, first I would like to say I have never heard of this.
She's holding an orb.
I don't know who this Hatsune Miku is.
I told you who she was.
Well, I
She's a
just
blue-haired goddess and idol.
and singer, but I don't know
That's what
who
an
this-
idol is.
Well, you know what? I think that we should make it clear all of her talents because she is amazing and deserves the respect, or at least that's what I would assume because I've never heard of her.
But you can feel her energy, I can tell. Idol includes singing, dancing, being pretty,
Some acting, some
being
acting.
charming, some acting.
And this is a
I
human
I
goddess.
heard
and
that she designed the video game Minecraft.
I heard she wrote
it's
a
finally
book
happening.
of a wizard school.
I'm finally starting to understand what it is that Mercer goes through. It's finally happening.
I'm so sorry.
We're giving our best shenanigans today.
To my credit, you invited me back a second time.
I know, and I'm gonna invite you back again and again
That
because I'm
was
smart.
your choice.
I'm just saying, I think that we should try to be a little subtle. And if there's one thing that our queen, or at least that's what the fans say,
Hallowed be her name.
if there's one thing that she does, it's draw attention.
That is a good point. I concede to that point. Also, it is not me who's going to be making the most use of this ship, so I will retract further influence.
But you and I should probably talk after this. I would love to.
I have some great holograms to show you.
I've got a couple of hollow discs that are limited edition that I literally have.
I'm confused. Do you know her or not?
I don't know her at all. I've never heard of her.
But you have some limited edition hollow discs of her?
I'm telling you, I've never heard of her. Keep it quiet.
Oh, okay, I think again something has been lost in translation. Let's just leave it.
Once again, Treewook is playing a role in the
Let's
havoc.
leave it here.
Down below on the bottom deck of the ship, in the common area, currently Ello is hovering in a circle with sparks flying everywhere. This small little robotic arm just elongated out and is cutting just a nice little circle in fabric. Just
Okay.
look, I didn't burn it.
No, you burned it just right. Now it's not going to fray at the edges. I realize I should be credited with MT translation before I do that. But I like Ello. But I will definitely put out 2 fingers for a high five with Ello's manipulator.
Immediately, just little mini spanner just high fives your fingers.
Okay. Do we have the surgical thread and the medical adhesive?
Yes, I have it right here. Thankfully, we have an excess right now. There were a lot of stormtroopers that were meant to be stationed on board this vessel, or at the very least, some Imperials. Imperials are very good at being shot. And sets down the medical stuff right there on the table. There's plenty of surgical supplies that you will find here. Please feel free to use them.
All right. We've got that. And we've got designs. I guess now we just have to
replicate them. I can work on the adhesive.
Okay, you work on the adhesive. I'll get the design stenciled in, and then Ello, you could stitch it up because repetitive movement is probably going to be like really consistent for you, right?
Quite easy for me, in fact.
Okay, good. All right.
Scanning the design. Scanned.
This will help the Sarge.
You see Elo take the needle and just start going like a sewing machine. Starts beginning to, just so everybody knows, this in-game scene, they are literally crafting the logo to Ember Squad that our beloved Anita created for us. That is now. So
Is there a place I can see it? I would like to.
Yeah, I actually, if you guys go, I posted it to the Streampunks account, but there's 3 different versions of it, so I can post that up. But you know what? Because this is special. I'll just do this.
And is there like an iron-on version for the players, or
is there a what?
An iron-on version for the players, or what's?
There will be. I added the medical adhesive.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.
Yep, got you, buddy.
Hold on, I will post this in our Twitch chat as well.
Okay.
So yeah, that's our Ember Squad logo. That's one of the 3 Ember Squad variant logos come up by our wonderful Anita.
Yeah.
Legally distinct. So the mouse does not storm into the place wearing Darth Vader armor.
You can only blow up so many proton torpedo warheads.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So it takes all, surprisingly enough, it only takes just a little bit of time, just like it did for Anita, just to like come up with the inspiration for a logo and put it together. The 3 of you working together, huddled over this table. Minor adjustments. Elo goes back and readjusts some few things and adds a little bit to it. And at the end, you have a very elegant looking symbol for Ember Squad. You guys spend the next 10 minutes just basically replicating it. And Elo is basically using sort of like the thick, the tough cloth that is used for leggings for like in military wear, like exactly. any kind. Yeah, it's like a thick, heavy khaki almost, but it cuts it out. Another slice. Takes about 20 minutes, and you find yourself with about 6 patches. They look crude and perfect.
I think we come in under number.
Do we need more?
Grand, right? And maybe 1 extra, just in case.
Okay, I have an idea.
Okay,
I'll be right back. Zips away. And a few moments later.
What did that last whistle mean, MT?
Last one, what?
The last whistle, the one that sounded like, and they try to whistle, but much like Sam just a moment ago, the whistle doesn't come out.
Hello said they will be right back.
I gotta learn binary.
It's quite limiting as a language. I don't recommend it.
It sounds nice when Elo does it, though. And you and Elo are good coworkers.
Perhaps, but I find the dynamics of Spectrum is so much more fascinating and fulfilling.
How do I whistle in Spectrum?
It's quite simple. And before she can get into it, Elo comes zipping back into the room with Elo's blanket. Just lays it down. Says, "This will provide us with the last bit of the material that we need."
But isn't this? Didn't I see you come? Is that yours?
Mm-hmm. It is.
Well,
it makes it special. This was your idea. You should wear the one that I make with this one.
Thank you. Thank you, Elo.
You're welcome. I'm going to need your help gluing one of these patches to the top of my chassis.
Yeah. I'll help.
Elo begins to cut. We should probably not tell Myth, since this is very expensive silk. Immediately cuts through it. They might be upset, but then again, maybe if we gave them a patch, they wouldn't be able to argue against us. Isn't that right, MT? MT's been teaching me a lot of psychological warfare. That is only somewhat true.
Wait, what's true?
I've been teaching Elo the fine arts of engaging in conversation with organics. There is a certain technique one can use to have an organic shut themselves up. I use it often when they are being rude on the medical beds. It's called guilt tripping.
The organic is quiet after that.
Elo continues and starts sewing up the last bit of the patch. And when it's done, you have a patch for everybody in Ember Squad, including MT and Elo.
All right. It is patch o'clock. I'm gonna go be patch delivery tran, I guess.
All right. One by one, patch delivery trend makes a delivery to everybody. And one by one, you all receive what looks like a patch. It's kind of given to you rather abruptly. Ella will just zip in there and be like, put this on, and then zip out. And you're holding a patch that has the markings of the Ember Squad logo on.
No. Go back.
Go back?
Ask Nero if she wants one.
Oh. A little bitty droid that could fit in the palm of your hand zips up to your face, Neru, and just says, hello, I'm sorry. This has to be abrupt because I'm trying to surprise everyone and my time is passing. But would you like a patch of the Ember Squad to make you an official member?
Well, but I'm part of the Shroud Company, or what's left of it.
You could be Shroud and Ember Squad, can't you?
I'm in the doorway, like eavesdropping on this interaction in 2 languages I do not understand at all.
Yeah, you hear beeping and whistling and
but I'm still looking through it. Very obvious.
I don't know. I think she'll look around like quizzically at everyone else in the room, like looking for approval or disapproval, essentially.
You just see Grand biting into a big piece of jerky, and he shrugs and says, might as well. That's what I did.
You're in 2 companies?
I was a resistance fighter on Okaran Prime. Most of my company was killed trying to rescue a bunch of people. Ember Squad helped me save lives. And I wasn't really interested in fighting for the rebellion at first, but after they saved a bunch of people, I couldn't say no. Ember Squad's a bunch of good people. They're completely disorganized and absolutely out of their damn minds, but they get the job done. So here I am.
She'll also look at like Stucky and Lon and Myth.
Hey, you worked with us. In my eyes, that means we've worked together. We're co-workers.
Co-workers, okay.
Welcome to the company, as far as I'm concerned. We wouldn't have been able to make it off that ship without you.
You literally saved Myth's life. Myth would have floated away without you.
It's true.
I'm sure. Well, I don't know.
Also, it would be nice to claim that Ember Squad took out both Dark Troopers and not just one.
That's true.
So,
it does make us look good.
Me joining is a point of pride. Well, what about you, Stucky? I feel like we've been at odds. I don't want to step on any toes.
You're muted.
Are you muted?
No, ours muted.
No toes. Will be stepped.
You don't
on.
have any toes?
No, I have this. What you just take the damn patch.
Okay. She'll like turn to the robot and like dip her head and say thank you.
It's like Elo knew exactly that this was inevitable, and Elo zips forward and just the patch adhesively sticks to that bandolier that you're wearing. You just
I was like, to my fur?
No, fix it on your bandolier.
Oh, we've
Wow.
all made that mistake during prom, right? Where you no, I'm the only person that did a step. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking.
I'm sorry. Did you glue something to your fur?
I have follow-ups over break.
Sorry, we didn't really do things like that with junior diplomats.
Elo pulls back and says, "Welcome to Ember Squad, coworker," and gives a small little salute. That's
Aw.
actually the perfect stopping point for the break. So let's take 10 get hydrated, and when we come back, we're going to be jumping out of hyperspace, and the gods know what the hell is waiting for us on the other side of the cyberspace jump, because we have literally yes and into this next chapter of the story, and I can't wait to see what happens. So don't go anywhere. We'll see you in just 10 minutes.
Easy to.
I'm bored.
We can go scream at the cat for another hour.
Nah, I'm tired of screaming at the cat.
Shut up with that! Be bored no more with 1985 games. Enjoy their vast variety of products and help bring your tabletop to a whole new level. With easy-to-use dungeon sticky notes. The deck of stories holds prompts and adventure hooks for any setting, and thousands of cutout game pieces with their dungeon craft.
You've come all this way for nothing, fool! The princess is mine! You'll never get away with this, Malachor!
Write everything down in your Hero Notes journal and start your adventure today! Visit the World Wide Web address 1985games.com and find many helpful products such as their Dungeon Craft series, battle maps, deck of stories, miniatures, dungeon notes, and now VHS dice. Again, that's 1985games.com.
And that's why I get frustrated every time Yoda calls down lightning and vaporizes the tree, because it just doesn't make any sense. All right, anyway.
The tree had it coming. It knows what it did.
It was a great scene, though. I loved seeing Yoda talk to Luke. That was really great. It was such a good scene. Very well written. I thought that was really well done. Anyway. Okay, so back to it. Everyone at this point has a new Ember Squad patch, and I am going to give everyone an additional bonus die that y'all can call upon at any point. So mark it down. It is a gift to the foes of the Empire.
I understood that reference.
You got that one.
Oh yeah, easy.
All right. Unless y'all have anything you want to do in hyperspace before we jump out of hyperspace, we can cut to y'all arriving at your destination in the Outer Rim. And does anybody have anything they want to do before this happens? Yeah, what's up, Myth?
Myth is going to go into find a quarter that hasn't been claimed yet. Is going to claim it as their own. Is going to, I don't know if I need to spend a destiny point for this, but pull out like a communication, like a holo communicator.
No, I think it's okay.
And it's going to send a transmission on an encrypted network to her mother.
Okay, I will have you spend a destiny point. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're going to make it encrypted, I will. Thank you.
Sorry, I clicked it.
No, that's okay. I'm just look at all my beautiful dark side.
And I'm just going to say,
holy smokes, we got one light side plate left.
I know.
We're good.
I know.
For all the purity that's been happening in the past 20 minutes of this game, I've been just the dark side has just been growing stronger and stronger.
And I'm going to send an encrypted message to my mom. And just say that we'll probably be inbound, coming for a visit very soon.
Okay. You send the message away. You know you'll be getting a response. It'll probably be a short response, probably something on the down low.
Yeah.
But for now, the message is sent. You guys emerge from hyperspace. And as you land in system, you see before you a very large, beautiful marbled tan looking planet that looks mountainous with low oceans and lots of cumulus clouds in the upper atmosphere. The planet is about the size of Mars, I would say. So not quite as huge as Earth. You do see the most striking thing about this, though. This world is called Covey 2 of the Covey system. This is in the Outer Rim. What's remarkable about this planet is anybody who is familiar with it, the surface is completely uninhabitable now. There are 5 dead cities on the surface of this planet. Everyone lives in orbit. There's about 17 space stations giant cities that just orbit this planet, populations ranging up into the 20s of thousands. They are crude-looking space stations, not necessarily anything built like you would see from the Empire or anything like that, but mostly cobbled together and hammered together and put together quickly, and have been in service for decades. This planet suffered a brutal attack during the Clone Wars. And one of the power generators that was being used to power the entire planet's supply, it was not clean energy, was destroyed, and it corrupted the entire atmosphere and wiped out just about all organic life on the surface of the world. And it carries this scar of the Clone Wars with it. However, the people of this world have carried on and are building their cities topside. They've even dedicated large portions of the space stations on some of these worlds to preserving the animal life that they were able to rescue from the planet below. So as you come out of hyperspace, you see these great cities floating in low orbit, hovering around this planet, just like stones just dancing around the magnet, this giant rocky ball in space. And you lock on to Station 2, QueueTimes. QueueTimes basically looks like a giant amalgam of rusty containers that have been stacked miles high and in every direction. It looks like an ugly, blocky space station with freighters coming and going left and right. This place is simply just not together enough to become a crime hub, but it is together enough to become a place for folks to live, and live they do. When you're approaching, you can hear static on the comms, Stucky, and a voice coming through. Poor judgment. This is QueueTimes station. We have you on our scope now. Please identify. What do you wish? What are you here for? What are you after? Are you requesting landing?
Yes, we were requesting landing. Just meeting up with an old friend, Zibit.
I don't need to know your business. Just tell me if you're landing or not.
Well, I told you I was. Listen, I don't need the attitude. We're landing.
Good, excellent. Landing pad 17C, and that's going to be a docking fee of 150 credits.
Ooh, price went up. Okay, yeah, we've got that. That's fine.
You may proceed.
Okay.
Grant
Did
just
you
goes,
fart?
Does anybody actually have money?
All of my belongings were destroyed in the battle that killed all of my comrades.
Hey,
look, I've got some funds.
We've got an excess of stormtrooper weaponry that we can sell, and worst case scenario, I can make a few bets down here. It'll be fine.
I feel like they're going to collect those at the door, as it were.
I have a way with people. I'm very charming.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you guide the poor judgment into one of the mini space docks. You see a lot of freighters coming and going out of this place, a lot of transports. But when you pull in, as the ship is moving into this open hangar that looks like it's just carved, it's bizarre looking, but it almost looks like this portion of the station that y'all are pulling into, you're starting to see what looks like the foundations of this station may have been at some point a moon or a large asteroid of some kind, because there is a rock face that a lot of this metal is built into the station itself. As you pull into the station and start settling down, Stucky, you don't even have to make a perception check, but as you kind of settle the poor judgment down onto the landing pad inside the hangar, you see a lot of looks coming from station staff as droids are moving about underneath the belly of the ship and starting to look for fuel ports to refuel the vessel. But as you touch down, all the lights go green, indicating you have touchdown, and the systems start going into standby mode.
This thing is just, it purrs. It just hurt. It's so, I'll never get right. We should, we've landed. So good news for you, Naru. We can see about getting your gun.
Yes, thank you.
You might need some help. I mean, it's really in there, but that's.
I'm confused about the position, so yeah, I will need some assistance.
Ceiling Cat drops down and stands ready to assist Gun Ma'am with gun. Neru, for context from previous episode, Elias asked you if your gun had a name because they were trying to figure out if their gun needed a name. They did not understand the Shriwook of the answer, and they said, and I believe this is how it went, "I like the way you gun, ma'am." There.
The way you gun, ma'am.
They were flustered. I know it seems out of character.
That is an honor.
In that
title,
context, they drop down to assist the gun, ma'am.
Okay. I'm a huge fan of Gun Ma'am.
So is
First
Elias.
there was Tank Girl. Now there's Gun Ma'am.
Pistol Miss.
No, she would never miss.
Oh, I see what you did there.
So, as the ramp comes down, Tillo turns to everybody and says, "All right, everybody, just be on your guard. It's very likely that there's Imperial scouts or lookouts or agents. Just treat this place like it. You can't let your guard down."
Yeah, I've got this. This is like this is almost like home to me. All right, everybody, we ready to go?
I'll grab an extra pistol.
I'm ready to disembark.
Not that I don't have full confidence in Stucky.
As
somebody has to.
What's that?
No, I was going to say somebody has to have confidence in him because he does not have confidence.
Oh, what? He exudes confidence. Is it all a show? Oh, no.
As you all disembark from the ship and you're moving down the ramp with Tillo in the lead, you see just a few feet beyond the ramp, laying on the flight deck, miraculously, having been dragged through hyperspace for the past quarter of a week, you see a modified unmounted E-Web blaster that is currently surrounded by two droids that are looking at it curiously, like, where did this come from? One of the droids is like, the Wookiee just storms over there waving her arms. The droids immediately like clear out in terror as the Wookiee runs over to it.
I shook it loose. You're welcome.
Yeah, you sure shook something loose. And she picks up the gun and just like holds it like a baby.
It is.
It's like, I missed you so much.
Metal as you just clutch it.
Well, I'm covered in a very thick fur, so it's fine.
Okay.
It's refreshing, honestly.
You comfortably hug this encumbrance level item. But no, the encumbrance rating on this gun makes it impossible for anyone less than your size to lift it without help. And you just kind of cradle it like a child in your arms.
I will respectfully inspect it to from whatever distance Neru is comfortable with, in order to ensure that still looks good. There's no scratches. There's no. I have a whole bunch of tools and stuff.
Her ego has been sated by Gun Ma'am, so you can have at it.
A few moments pass before you see somebody approaching all of you. Standing at probably at about 3 feet tall, moving over to you with a bit of a suspicious look in their eyes. You see what looks like an Ugnaught come walking up. Now, for those of you who need a quick reminder, Ugnaughts have a reputation of being sort of like, what's a good way of describing like an evil Jawa is what they kind of have a reputation for being in Star Wars. Although we did get to meet some pretty cool. Was the guy in? Actually, I don't know. Was the guy in Mandalorian? Was he an Ugnaught? Season 1. I have spoken. He wasn't an Ugnaught, was he? He was. Oh, he was an Ugnaught. As it has been verified by a Star Wars writer. So yes. Okay. Yes. Yes, he comes approaching. He's got a little cane in one hand. It looks like it's made out of metal, and he leans upon it pretty heavily. He looks like he's walking with a bit of a stiff leg, but he's looking at everybody with some suspicion with the data pad in his hand. Comes to a stop and looks around and says, "No artillery is allowed on the station."
Is he looking at
Directly at the
Aaron?
Wookiee who's holding a piece of artillery. Yeah. Blasters are fine. Weapons of war that can destroy vehicles, not fine.
This is my blaster.
Your blaster can stay on your ship.
Listen, man, you are not gonna enjoy the experience of trying to separate that Wookiee from that massive gun.
The Ugnaught looks up at you and you clacks the staff twice on the ground and says, I would never dream of trying to separate that Wookiee from her gun. Never. I would never do her the disrespect. It is not allowed on the station. If she cannot separate herself from it, she can leave with the rest of you.
Oh, man.
It's fine. It's fine. I'm fine.
I believe you the first.
There's enough fur on a Wookiee's face that you cannot see its jaw clench when it speaks. Did y'all know that? You cannot tell. She seems to be fine.
Elias looks to Myth like, can a social salvage this situation? Can Gunman win?
I think that we'll let cooler heads prevail. I'm very sorry.
I'm fine.
Feelings inside not expressed. Anyways,
I'll just go back and put my gun on the ship, and I will leave it there, and it will be fine.
It will be fine.
Hey, buddy, let's talk brass tacks. What would it take for you to just maybe not see the Wookiee leave the station with the gun? I know how this works. What's the tax here?
He looks at you and says, I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Nod.
Yeah.
If that was, say, a blaster rifle, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Blaster pistols are permitted. Heavy blaster pistols are permitted. Rifles are permitted, but watched closely. Artillery, not permitted.
I'm saying, like, how many credits is it gonna take for that to be a blaster to you?
My job is at stake if I let her leave this place with that artillery. No matter how many credits you give me, you cannot conceal that weapon, and points at it.
She makes direct eye contact with him, and then like easily shoulders it and holds it as if it were like a heavy blaster, and then turns on her heel and just walks back up the ramp into the ship.
I mean, already just the sheer power and size of the Wookiee already causes you all to be fully aware when she's walking past you, simply from the vibrations of the deck nearby. When she is carrying that thing, it sounds like a loader is walking up the ramp of the ship. She steps up, and he says, "See, problem solved itself. She understands." Grateful.
Who are you calling a problem?
You come back down with the gun.
I start blasting.
And that's when Ember Squad went off the rails.
No.
So yeah, you move up the deck, and he just says, "Problem solved. She respected station rules, and so now we can do business."
Yep, business.
Is there a I'll drop it off in the ship. Is there a loaner, like blaster, heavy blaster?
Let's say Elias would very happily trot after.
Yeah.
Because they did just specify. They did grab a blaster pistol to make up for the one tragically lost on the platform to the Dark Trooper. RIP. And it has been specified. There are a whole lot of pistol. If you need a pistol, ma'am, I've inventoried the pistols.
Yes, thank you, small one.
Yeah.
I accept your offer.
I'll go get those for you now. Move. Gone. Dust, Elias-shaped dust cloud.
Yeah, there's as said, there is a complement of blaster pistols. There is a full rack of, I believe I said 12 E11 blaster rifles that stormtroopers use, standard issue blaster rifles that stormtroopers
Not to mess
use.
with ourselves too much, but you said half that because it wasn't fully loaded yet.
Oh, that's right. That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
There wasn't full ammo on all of them, and
There
now
wasn't full
Elias
ammo.
has one, and Elias will bring back two to Naru, because that's how they roll, and they would better to assume more guns rather than fewer guns. I mean, there's a lot of guns to make up for gun. I return with guns. Flip them. It probably looks reasonably cute trick flip. And
is it heavy or is it just a regular? Like, what is it mechanically?
We don't have. I think we just have light.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just blaster pistol.
Sorry, that was a above game question.
Yeah. They are. I can actually give you. Do you have Havana? Do you have the age? I feel so weird using your full name because I'm just used to calling you Havana. Do you have the Age of Rebellion sourcebook?
Yeah, somewhere.
Okay, that's okay. I can give you the stats for it later. Hopefully you won't have to use the E11 this time around. But if you do, yes, no, it is a very reliable. Don't lie. Let me see. Yeah,
because I am proficient in it, right? Because I'm a hired gun heavy, so I imagine I can also do.
Let me look at your character sheet real quick.
Well,
because
for minor details, the E11 blaster, because I shot one in the last planet, is a ranged heavy. So if you're worrying what skill it is, I don't know all the numbered stats offhand, but
I didn't know it was heavy. I thought it was just a. Oh, is it a heavy blaster rifle?
Yeah, the E11s, the stormtrooper ones.
Oh,
nice. We love to hear it.
And yeah, you use your ranged. That's a nasty blaster rifle.
I think ranged light is meant to be like the pistols and stuff.
Damage 10. It is cumbersome. You don't have to worry about that. Rarity 6. Yeah. Encumbrance 4. Hit points,
not even familiar with the word, to be honest.
I mean, you could even. It's got 4 hard points. You could even get these things modified here if you want
Is
to.
the link that Sam put the correct one?
No, that's
okay.
Just the base standard, because I didn't know the E11s. That's going to be a pain. They're on cumbersome.
Yeah, apparently they have cumbersome 3.
Different than the Alliance blaster rifles, I think.
It makes sense because that's literally the only thing that stormtroopers really carry is just their E11. It's their standard issue. But I can give you the stats real quick. The damage is 10. You can write these down anywhere you want. But the damage is 10 and the critical is 3 and the range is long. And it does have auto fire, which is deadly in this game. So those are the main stats. And it uses ranged heavy. What's that?
What was the cumbersome number you said?
3. So it's a little. So yeah. Anybody?
Small. You're just a small one.
I'm a scrawny lad.
It's true.
If you seem to be struggling with it, like I think Naru would offer to like hold it for you until you needed it. I don't know if that mechanically does not help, but narratively might.
They're going to absolutely macho this one out.
Okay.
I can switch it. It's just at 1 higher difficulty and at range long. And since there were scope attachments available, which will give me a counter at range long, I would be okay to continue firing my double gunslinger style as you should.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Power through. Walk it off.
Yeah.
So
I walk and it helps.
Yeah. Even your sniper rifle, it makes sense. Your sniper rifle is not as heavy as this gun is. This is used for front of the line fighting for infantry. So you get the heft on this thing. And the fact that it's built in with auto fire and whatnot, this thing is just a beast. You don't know how the stormtroopers are always carrying this crap. But
I understand how they're missing.
One of the things that you could do, though, Sam, in the future, because it does have hard points on it, is I think getting a gun strap for it. If you sling that around your shoulder, you could probably ignore the encumbrance quality on it. If you were able to
or I fight enough imps that one of them drops the loot I need. Just keep going.
Just keep
Just
going.
keep blasting. Just keep blasting till I get the item I need.
So I started blasting.
So when you all gather again at the base of the ramp, and he hands you a data pad, just says sign here for your docking fees.
Right.
So is going to take it.
About that.
Okay, Myth intercepts it immediately.
While we were having the gun conversation, I frantically looked back, and we did at one point acquire credits. My note taking is awful. I don't know how many we got, but we got it from V's secret apartment place where we got the thermal grenades.
That's right. You did.
We have some credits. I just don't know how many. So somebody help.
I have on my character sheet listed 500 credits.
Okay. That's because there were 2 rods. One came with me and Elias, and the other ones went with you all. So supposing we didn't lose any of those, which I don't remember us doing.
Yeah.
And also, unless we have to turn it back in at the end of our mission when we're back in the Rock Skipper, we should still have 1,000 plus whatever pocket change we had when we created our characters.
Okay. So this is like that thing when you're like way too drunk and you go to Denny's with your friends and it's just like, all right, can we pay the bill? Like, let's scramble it. Put all your dollars together, folks.
I have 10 credits.
It was 150.
150 for docking, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Myth is just going to pay that.
Okay. Scans the chip, hands it back to you, and says, do you need any information about station? Do you need to know where you're going?
I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
I was going to say that we're looking to speak with Zibbit.
Zibbit. Yes, Zibbit. Zibbit Space Garage.
Yes, we're hoping to get some body work done.
Oh, that's the place to do it. We let Zibbit come into the hangars often to do work here. I should warn you that part of Zibbit's fee is covering the docking fees required to do repairs or to do modifications to ships. It's not gouging. It's just if you are renting this space longer for modifications, we must cover the costs.
Clearly, that's obviously. How much extra is that going to be?
It will depend on how long you wish to remain here, but it's not expensive so long as you are paying on the regular.
We shouldn't be too much longer, honestly. Just a few aesthetic changes, and we should be on our way.
Your business is your own.
All right. So where exactly is this space garage?
Types in a few buttons on the data pad and swipes it, and the data appears on your pad. You just see basically a blueprint of the station of Kobe 2. Looks like there's probably about 7,000 people that live on this station. Stationed throughout the various areas. There is a big arboretum here too that looks like it houses a lot of the animal life that they were able to rescue, as well as a sizable aquarium in the middle of the station. Outwards, the more outwards you go from the station itself, you get into more of like the shops area. But what you're seeing is, aside from these spaces that are specifically designed for some of the wildlife that they were able to save, the rest of these spaces look like just corridors. It's a city of hallways and doors, even shops, everything in here. As he sees you like looking through it, he goes, I know what most visitors say. It's kind of depressing, but we get by. And there's plenty of starlight. We have lots of windows in our spaces. So don't be intimidated by how claustrophobic the station can feel. Covey 2 is a good home for everyone.
Honestly, I was going to say it's quite ingenious.
Oh, thank you. My ancestors helped build this station.
Really? You'll have to tell me about it sometime. This is turning on the charm to try and like maybe skim a little bit off of our docking fees.
The Ugnaught looks quite proud when you say that and says, be happy to. Great uncle and uncle helped build and design station. Very pleased with the work they did. Took extra care to build arboretum and aquarium.
The
Very
arboretum. I must check that out at some point while I'm here.
Well, enjoy your stay. And
thank you very much.
passive warning, because this happens from time to time. If you are being hunted by someone, bounties perhaps, you will be responsible for any damages incurred by firefights.
Oh, we wouldn't dream of causing trouble on such a beautiful place.
Nobody does.
Not after your ancestors did such a good job of building it.
You are too charming for your own good. Points at you with his walking stick and says, I best leave before I start to like you. And he turns and moves away. You guys have free reign of the station and a blueprint of kind of where all the shops and eateries are, various restaurants, places to buy things. For an Outer Rim world, this place looks surprisingly simple and safe. It does not have any of the hallmarks of like a place that lives on the edge of the crime lord's influence, which is quite vast out here in the Outer Rim. This place seems to be somewhat straightforward.
Aside from the ship modifications, we only have so much supplies in there. Would it be smart to stock up on anything else? Fuel, food, knickknacks for your rooms?
Tillo's like, we should definitely refuel the ship, that's for sure. And we didn't have a full stock of consumables, but the problem is we're running a bit short on funds. Once we refuel the poor judgment, we might not have any money left for anything else for the ship.
Well, that's okay. Stucky said that they would get us some money.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I got it covered.
And we're not above taking an odd job, are we, LO?
No, not at all. Most of the jobs I've always taken are odd.
Stucky, can I help?
Yeah. I mean, depending on the
Maybe
job.
leave Elias
Cool.
out of it.
Listen, I would never take Elias anywhere that I didn't think they couldn't handle it. And honestly, I think the kid can handle anything. I'm not nervous. Everything's fine. I've got this. We're gonna make so much money.
Elias, whatever kind of fun anyone seems to be having, know that it is a lie.
Again, Elias's Shreewook just isn't there, so it's that friendly blank smile. I don't know. It's like maybe kind of conversationally, but nah.
Listen, let's just hit up a cantina, find out what the good word is, see if anybody needs any pilots for any above board jobs, or maybe some jobs a little under the board. Or see if anybody needs a quick, cheap mechanic work gets done. Listen,
you want to be competition for the person we're trying to get to help us.
Let's also maybe get the quote first, so we know how much we have to raise here.
Yeah.
I would be happy to contribute by offering surgeries.
Jesus.
Oh my God. I didn't even know you were here.
Literally a station of alleyways. So anywhere they did a surgery would be a back alley surgery.
MG just stands there still as a statue waiting for somebody to approve of what she just said.
I mean,
that won't be necessary, MT.
Understood.
She can help.
Listen, we're a talented bunch. We're gonna get this quote from Zibit. I should maybe mention that maybe me and Zibit aren't on the greatest terms. So
God, damn it, Tilla looks at you and says, "What?"
Okay, but maybe Zibit and I are.
Stucky.
Yeah.
Before we go into this, what are we going into?
My family used to, we used to smuggle goods for people in the Outer Rim that needed them, and maybe
run.
Well, we didn't screw it up as much as the job that we got busted on by the Imperials. We may have had quite a bit of Zibit's goods confiscated. So somebody else might want. I lead the conversation while I go to a cantina or something.
It's very rare when you actually see. You don't see Tillo use his brakes very often, if ever. But you know the sergeant's got something coming. He reaches down and just clicks on the brakes on the chair, and then he folds himself down and goes.
Quick above game question. Since I used a light side point to have that connection, is it inherently a positive one?
If you want it to be, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think she'll walk over and put a hand on their shoulder and just be like, it's okay. Zibit and I are good terms. I can talk to him.
See, we got Naru.
Removes the brakes and says, excellent, that's great. One last thing before we get underway. No matter what happens here, there's one thing I need you all to keep in the back of your mind. No matter how ridiculous things get or wild things get or whatever happens, keep this in the back of your mind. We're soldiers of the rebellion. So what we do here is going to reflect upon the Alliance. So be very careful about that. And don't go telling everybody unless you have to. But just be aware. One of the things that led to Ember Squad's creation is we were supposed to be a unit that reached out to people who were looking to resist the Empire. Literally the ember that starts the fire, that's supposed to be us. So whatever we do, make sure it reflects well upon the rebellion. We don't need the Alliance making enemies here.
So where's gambling fall on that spectrum?
Honestly, if it means that we can get back to the fleet faster, I'm not opposed to it. I just can't get us trapped here. So whatever you do, use your discretion and don't give people a reason to not like us any more than they already do. He looks over at Stucky.
That wasn't my fault. And look, people don't know how to not like me. I've got it covered.
Come on. We gotta go. I'm pulling him away by the arm, taking the sergeant's yes for an answer and going.
Okay. Yep. Elo joins you and is grabbing the sleeves next to you and is just tugging as well.
Elias is just like super stoked to gamble.
Yeah, like we're doing this.
Games?
Look, have you ever met like someone who's just hit the age of majority that they could go to Vegas for the first time?
Right.
Is this Vegas?
Well,
is this Vegas to Elias?
Well,
we'll find out.
This is Reno.
I mean, they have no point of reference, so.
Oh, Reno. Did I ever tell you what Taliesin told me? Taliesin told me, I was like, what is Reno like? Have you ever been to Reno? And Taliesin was like, yeah, Reno. That's shitty Vegas. It's basically.
That's true. That's true. That's great value Vegas.
I was like,
this is the Reno airport. Thank you for that.
It's the Reno airport.
I would also like to say though that Vegas is shitty.
That's fair. I learned at Star Trek Las Vegas back in 2018 that I'm allergic to cigarette smoke. Oops.
Oh.
Oops.
Someone tried to buy me.
Oh, jeez. No wonder you have low opinions of Vegas. So on that note,
what the actual fuck?
I think there's a good amount of human trafficking in Vegas. I'm just throwing it out there.
There's a market for Vanna, apparently.
I guess. Well, I was very drunk and underage, so.
Ooh, oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's extra bad.
That's bad on multiple levels.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
So yeah, y'all are good. Okay, so the plan is to head to gambling first. MT just walks behind you saying it, and I can stitch up anybody who's shot from cheating.
Oh, are we planning on being shot?
I don't know.
Directly at Stucky.
You know, you never planned for it.
Yeah.
If you get Elias caught up in the backlash of one of your deals, I'm going to take you to a distant moon and I'm going to leave you there.
How are you going to get there? I'm the pilot.
Oh yeah,
So-
I forgot you're the only one who can fly a ship.
I'm the best one.
Tillo immediately raises his hand and goes, "You two, calm down. Save it for the Empire. Save it for the Empire." Elias, you're not sure what was being said, but you're getting a big protective vibe coming off of the Wookiee suddenly. Like somewhere in that conversation, you're pretty sure Stucky was being admonished.
There was
Like,
threat. Look, I know the word "shot" in most languages.
Yeah. All right. So you all depart, and just so I understand, are you headed to gambling first, or are you headed to?
I
I think we're splitting the
I
party.
think we're splitting
The
the
garage,
party.
Oh, are
I
you
think-
splitting the
Because
party?
then we
Here
can get the
go.
quote communicated to us, and that will influence how we
Okay.
bet not to get too Wednesday about it.
Okay. So who is going to head to the gambling, and who's heading to speak to Zibbit?
So I believe gambling is MT, Stucky, Elias, and Elo.
Hello.
I thought Elo was with us.
Ella went
That's-
with them.
That is a rational thing. Elo will follow wherever Lon is going, but Elo was pulling the sleeve because Elo saw Elias and was like, "I'm going to help," and was pulling the sleeve. As well.
I thought it was weird too, but I'm like, I'm not gonna deal with droid business.
Yo,
Ellis
calculations?
can.
It's math, right?
I think Lon would like to go to talk with Zibbit to make sure that their
Okay.
shop is on the up and up.
Okay, cool. And it's good. It's good that it's very good too that Neru is going with you as well, because she obviously has a more positive relationship with Zibbit.
And Myth is going there as the talker, going to talk to try and do negotiations.
Okay.
Lucky, we're unsupervised together.
We're gonna get us so
And
much.
she's supervising us.
Responsibility.
We will regret this.
Let's find out.
We're gonna be so responsible.
Is Tillo staying on the ship or going with one of us?
Tillo's actually going to stay on the ship, and that is mostly because he does not want to leave an Imperial, a salvaged Imperial ship by itself. And if anybody's
Yeah.
snooping around, he wants to know about it. So he's going to stay behind and watch.
And Grant's
Land's there, right? We're good.
Yeah, he's going
And
to
is
stay.
Gren staying as well?
Yeah, Grant's going to stay because Grant is like, look, this looks like fun, and I definitely want to disembark. But the truth of the matter is I'm not leaving that asshole in the brig unprotected. So I'm going to stand guard.
Wait, he thinks Tillo's an asshole?
No,
No,
a prisoner,
prisoner.
Dr. Gilliso. Oh, we
Oh
didn't
my
really tell
God.
you about her.
I'm
Yeah,
not a
no-
prisoner.
No, honestly, at that point, Grant makes the connection and goes, Has anyone told Neru that we're carrying an Imperial prisoner on board?
I mean,
No one
I
has
think
told
I-
her. have
I think
they?
we all kind of buried the lead on it.
Okay, so he turns
It
and
was
looks at
maybe
you.
vaguely mentioned.
I thought we were
His hair
purposely
backing.
not telling Naru because that's the Imperial responsible for wiping
Thought
out
you
the
already
squad.
told her during when I was unconscious.
He leans in and just kind of like quietly says up to you, Neru. He says, "We have an Imperial war criminal on board the vessel that we're trying to take to high command. She manufactured a bunch of chemical weapons that were killing my people. We managed to
Would-
nab her.
Would Naru recognize the name?
Possibly.
Because she's heard the name said by them a couple times.
Make a core worlds check. Which is not going to. I don't think Neru specializes in that.
Nani?
Yeah.
Core rolls check you must make.
So core. So you're going to look. So that's going to be 2 green dice for you.
Just straight up.
Yeah, and I would say. Oh, but you got to roll your difficulty dice.
Oh, how many's?
I'm gonna say it's a standard difficulty 2, but I'm gonna give you a setback dice because she is not. So roll 2 purples and a black die.
Ooh.
Oh wow, you actually succeeded with 3 successes and a threat. That's amazing roll right
Wait,
there.
no, I
That was
didn't.
real-
It says 0 successes.
Oh wait, no. I'm only counting your. Okay, hold up. Sorry, I was letting you keep your green dice, but I didn't. So you rolled.
Oh,
threats.
I see. Got you.
No, you still succeeded. You got 2 successes and 2 threats. That's how I'm reading the
Perfect.
die because
Yep.
So I'm going to bank that threat as well because I haven't had a roll yet. This is evil, but I'm just banking all of the stuff. I've got like 20,000 dark side points and a bunch of threat. I
There's a
can't
word for that. It's hoarding.
wait. That's true. That is
And we're going to a seedy place to gamble.
Yeah.
Eric's gonna
Nothing
burn them
can
all
go
in one go and be like, I am also at this casino.
Um,
Darth Vader.
okay. Yeah, Vader's playing craps. I'm like, what the hell?
Oh my god! What a guy.
He would cheat. So much force use. All right, so basically, with that many successes, I would say that the name does ring a bell. You've probably overheard her name being mentioned by members on board your ship with the original company. She was a high-profile target for the rebellion.
And
But
give me her name one more time.
her name is Dr. Gillisso. Jillsso. Gillisso.
Oh yes, Jello.
Gillisso.
Jellozo. Okay,
She
then we
is-
might retcon this whole conversation.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
I did mention her name in front of me earlier, so
Yeah,
I probably would have understood.
Yeah, what we could say is that when he tells you that it's an imperial prisoner and a criminal of war, then Dr. Jill, it's sort of like, oh, that Dr. Jill. So like when he gives you that information, we could say it clicks. The other piece of information I can give you is she is a weapons manufacturer that was working directly underneath, and this you would know, a man named Admiral Deleth, who is definitely on the rebellion's watch list because he is a vicious admiral that is stationed near the mid-rim and has been making pushes into the outer rim along with the rest of the empire and searching for the rebellion. And apparently the intelligence that you have heard and that some of the rebellion is privy to is that Dr. Gilso was apparently one of his weapon makers, weapons dealers.
Got ya.
Yeah. So anyway, with that, Gran just says, I'm going to stay on board and make sure she does not get out. And when she complains, I can yell at her through the door. It'll be fun.
I'm going to turn to Tillo and just be like, keep an eye on my gun, please.
He nods. He's like, don't worry, that gun's not going anywhere. I won't let anybody touch it. I'll keep it locked in your quarters.
I have quarters?
Yeah, you're a member of Ember Squad. And he points at your patch.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he doesn't say another word. He just kind of gives you a sly smirk before he swivels back around and wheels up the ramp, just strong, pushes up the wheels and just disappears inside the ship. Gran follows after him and just gives you a tip and says, good luck. You're going to need it. He disappears into the ship.
Hey, okay. With that attitude, yeah.
I had the quote solo. I couldn't help it.
I don't understand that reference.
I'm sorry.
Who?
All right. So the party is splitting. We will start with the party going to visit our good friend Zibbit.
I'm never gonna not be tickled by that name.
I know. I can't
You did
believe you.
So it's true.
The name of the host of Pet My Ride is Exhibit.
The name of my computer is Zazbit.
Oh,
And the name of our signature character from Clear Skies and Shield of Tomorrow is Zazrit. So it's like Zibbit is just, it feels right.
Feels right.
so you just put Exhibit,
Yeah.
Zazbit, and Zazrit in a blender, and we're about to meet this character.
Yeah.
Okay, got
Oh
it.
God.
Oh yeah, no, it's
Just the
Beyonce.
juice.
So it is true. Kobe 2.
Why'd you?
What happened? What I meant? Oh no.
Slowly pops into
It just pops up into frame. I was like, what I missed? What I missed? So as it turns out, Covey-2, the Ugnaught that you met on the landing pad was not joking. It is just a bunch of wide corridors with occasional open spaces. I think the best way to be describing it is, and this is not going to work for everybody because not everybody has seen it, but if you have seen The Expanse, it looks very much like the Martian cities, where there is a lot of corridors, trams being used, a few large open spaces, and more corridors. It's all built in sort of an enclosed environment. There's enough space to walk, plenty of people. Like I would say it's about half the size of a city street, the size of the corridors through here that break off into various other smaller corridors and businesses. When you finally arrive, it is indeed, Zibbit calls his place of business Zibby T's Space Garage. And you see what looks like like a holographic neon sign of a large forearm basilisk, just with like tools in the hand. If y'all need a Star Wars reference, Dexter from episode 2, the one that ran the diner, Obi-Wan, that guy, that's a basilisk. You see.
Wait, is it a basilisk the same as it is in like high fantasy kind of?
No, it's not a basilisk. I know.
Okay.
Basilisk. I think they're called basilisk. I always get it wrong. I add an A at the end of it, but it's basilisk. You see this large four-armed like image of something like building, like those neon signs that simulate like animation. Yeah, it's like the 2D thing, and it's basically like, it looks like something out of Fallout, where it's just kind of like this neon sign that's like hammering on a spaceship. It has a large front window where you see a bunch of models of spaceships from all across the eras on full display, and a droid just like moving back and forth, kind of like a broken mannequin, just like exhibiting all of these ships that are in the window. The doors are open, and inside you can see what looks like a very comfortable, dimly lit interior with all these blinking lights and accoutrement hanging from the ceiling, look like pieces of spaceships. You see behind a very large desk, as soon as you walk in, it looks like almost like a bicycle shop, like a bike shop, where they have like wheels just kind of hanging up behind the counter. But in this case, you see turbofans, you see compressors, you see all these bits to spaceships, as well as color palettes that are on full display. The HoloNet is currently playing, and it's just blaring a bunch of Imperial propaganda, and it's being kept on low. And behind the counter, with a pair of goggles on with sparks flying everywhere, you see this large, hulking, four-armed individual, huge belly, big mouth, very, very similar to Dexter. Big, thick arms, and is holding something very delicate in his hand, and is just sparks flying up, and is just angled at it, just kind of. You all enter, and he doesn't look up at you. He just kind of.
Is there like a bell or something on the counter?
Yeah, there is. There is an old makeshift, like analog looking bell that you can just tap.
No, I put my whole meaty hand on it.
He just goes, "Be right with you. 1 sec. Almost done."
How good of a job is he doing?
It looks like he is building a type of power converter from scratch. From what you can tell, it looks like he has crafted the mold and forged it himself. And Lon, if you want to make a mechanics check to get an appraisal situation going, the difficulty of this would be 2.
Great. I also just bought some intellect with my with some experience. So let's do this. Oh, all right.
That looks pretty impressive. You're not sure what it goes to.
That being said, I will give an advantage to Myth, an advantage to Neru, and across the setting, an advantage over to Elias.
Okay,
I want them to have a fun.
Real quick, because we've been doing advantage spins incorrectly, as it turns out.
Oh,
so the next person who rolls, you can give an advantage to for 1 for 1. But if you want to give advantage to somebody who's out of turn, it's 2 for 1.
Oh,
So
otherwise
yourself still.
Yeah. So you could, so whoever, if you want to give it all to one person who's going to be rolling next, you can do it.
And you can't split them?
You can, but you can't really assign them until the second person is rolled. Do you know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. So, okay, I see.
Yeah.
Just to the next person then.
Okay, so then whoever is going to roll next is going to get 3 advantage. Is going to get 3. So, yeah, you hit the bell, and he goes. He's told you 1 second. He's almost finished. After a few moments pass, he goes. Looks at it for a second. Goes. I don't know if that's going to fit or not. Sets it down. Sets down the. Looks like the plasma torch. He just sets it down and pulls the goggles off. Looks up at you and goes, "Welcome to Zibby Tees. Neru?
What's up?
No.
What's up, Zipster?
Neru? The hell?" Stands up, reaches over with 4 arms and just kind of stretches out and just gives you a big pat. I never thought I'd see you again. How have you been? What brings you all the way out to Covey 2?
You almost didn't see me again, actually. It's a long story, though. Maybe if you're free later.
Let me guess. He glances at everyone around you and he goes, "You joined the rebellion."
Listen, we don't need to talk about these things here.
Sure. Happy to avoid that topic. Easy enough.
Wait, did he roll his eyes?
No, he just kind of sinks back. He sinks back, and he's got kind of a wry smile on his face, like he's more than happy to dodge that trouble. He just kind of settles back into the chair and says, "So, you here for favors, or are you looking for business?"
I mean, I'm sure we can find a compromise.
All right. Well, possibly. What can I do for you?
Well, we've come in possession of a ship, and it needs a bit of a makeover.
Oh, he leans back and says, "Imperial? Really?
And they already turned down the Hatsune Miku mural, so don't bring it up.
You're still talking about that. I never understood what that was."
I showed you the holodiscs.
Where have you got your ship parked right now?
In the, home.
Hangar?
Yeah.
Docking Bay 17.
17. Well, first thing we've got to do is move your ship.
Why? What's wrong with where it is?
A big Imperial ship built in the open, I'm assuming?
Pretty much. Having an Imperial ship parked like that out in the open is not good for business. And if you want me to work on it, well, I'm going to need to do that somewhere a little more discreet. Thankfully, you'll be happy to know I've got a hangar of my own. Place where I do a lot of my own modifications to vessels that we don't want people seeing.
Is that an upgrade? I'm not sure you had that last time, or maybe you
Bit
kept
of an
a little.
upgrade. Not on purpose. Actually, kind of surrounded in a funny story. It's a portion of the station during a bit of an issue. I don't need to go into details, but suffice to say, one of the containment units down a few levels kind of decompressed and went to vacuum. When they managed to repair the whole thing, there wasn't many people who wanted to make their way living in there anymore. So I went ahead and bought it at a discount price, reinforced the barriers, the doors, and gave it a force field. Now it's quite handy, and it's an unlisted garage. So tell me how big your ship is, and maybe we can do some of those modifications.
Well, it sounds like you definitely have space for a light freighter.
Light freighter's about all I have space for.
Well, sounds like a perfect fit.
Let's talk price. What kind of job are we talking about here? Are you talking about changing transponder codes, a paint job, exterior modification? Do you want weapons?
Transponder codes aren't necessarily going to be a problem. I've already taken care of that. But
Well,
Maybe some external, definitely a paint job at the very least, and maybe some outside chassis modifications so that even on visual inspection, it doesn't quite look like the kind of ship it is.
Going to be difficult. Imperials make their ship to exacting specifications. But I've always
Well, if you
wanted to get
can't do it, we could take our work
don't
somewhere else.
start with that. Now then, tell me what you do. Whatever you do, I'm going to do you this favor and get your ship out of that hangar bay and into my hangar. Worst case scenario, if we can't agree on a price, I can at least charge you a lot less what they're going to charge you for staying here. And in the meantime, you can hide out a little bit. Sound like a plan?
Sounds like a great plan.
And once you do take a look at it, if you have any suggestions about modifications we can make to what's inside, then we're open to hearing about those.
He leans on one of his
Maybe
elbows.
don't open the floodgates, all right?
He leans-
Quincy.
He leans on the elbow and he leans forward and looks at you, Lon, and goes, "You smell like an engineer."
You have a good sense of smell.
I know someone who talks about this with passion. Tell you what, you and I can have ourselves some conversations over what you're looking for. But your friend here points at Lon and says, "We'll tell you that if you want exterior hull modifications, well, that's going to be a bit on the tricky side. Those are always the most time-consuming. But let's see what we're working with before I give you bad news or good news."
What about some sort of cloaking mechanism to
Cloaking?
change the way it looks from the outside without physically modifying it?
I can be pretty clever, but I don't have anything as expensive as a cloaking device, sadly.
Myth is going to pull up the specs and show the
You hand
whole
it to him?
plan.
His eyes widen and he goes, "Say." He picks it up and looks at it and says,
A VT decimator. I've heard about these. These are fresh off the line. How the hell did you manage to steal one of these?
Like I
acquired
said, it's a long story, and it wasn't stealing.
Wow.
It
scratches
fell
the
off.
side of his face. Says,
Little fancier than the usual Carillion Engineering YT series, huh?
Not bad, not bad. Always wanted to get into the guts of a quad ship drive yard's crafting mechanisms. Never seen an Imperial ship like this one off the line. Tell you what, you'd be doing me a favor if you let me work on this baby. I might give you a bit of a discount for this one.
I had a feeling you might say something like that. It's a
You
bit
know
of a
how to
rare-
work me.
He nods.
All right. Here's the docking information you need. Make sure you're flying casual when you leave. Don't attract attention.
He slides the data pad over to you.
Oh, no,
That'll
not
have
at all.
all the access codes to the entire hangar facility I have located on the subdecks.
All right. And there's a way to access the upper decks from your hangar?
Sure. It's easy enough to get to. It's just more secure. And there's a lot of folks that don't have it listed as an actual hangar that you could land at. Personal private landing pad, courtesy of ZBTs.
Oh. All right. You think that's as good a plan as any? We'll let the others know where they can meet us.
Good to be working with you again, Neru.
Yeah, well, that remains to be seen, doesn't it?
And he leans back. Cut to the sights and sounds of the interior casino. This is not. God, I was about to make a reference that is so freaking vague. I was embarrassed. I was going to say this looks like the inside of the lowest ranked casino you can get into in Vegas Stakes on Super Nintendo. Everybody get that? All right. Nobody? All right. When you enter,
Is that a Vegas-based SNES game?
Yes, damn it.
All right.
And you have to watch your wallet because they'll pickpocket you. It's really annoying. Anyway, when When you enter this place, it is a large open area with 2 floors. It looks like there are sleeping quarters probably that you can rent out here for people who just don't want to leave. But there are what looks like sabak games that are happening here. Sabak, if you want to pronounce it correctly, but not me. And you see a lot of like dice games being played, all kinds of gambling happening around here. You do see, of course, the typical band environment. So there is music being played here. Jazz flavored music, that's Jazz. Jazz.
Not according to Mr. Lucas.
Jizz.
No, it's jazz.
Jaws.
Sorry, your audio cut out.
And
Jizz.
that's
Yeah, no, it's just not coming through.
And there went down our Twitch stream. Good job, everyone.
I was like, I love that I recognized Drac in chat because he was like, no, I'm gonna signal boost what Vanna is saying right now. Drac is like, no, I'm doing this. Yeah, that's being played. And you do see the scantily clad worker across the spectrum of genders moving across and having a good time, serving drinks and conversing with people and enjoying the atmosphere. Everyone here looks pretty jovial. No one looks miserable, like they're here against their will. I'm specifying this because this is an Outer Rim world. You don't see any like signs of hut activity or criminality that's going on. There probably is, but you don't see any badness here. It looks like just a low functionary casino where you hear a couple of curse words and a couple of people like laughing and drinks being served everywhere. The immediate smell that hits you when you enter this place, for those who can smell it, it smells like it's oversaturated in like spices that are supposed to be pleasing but are now overpowering, probably meant to mask some of the scents that are actually being inhaled by you. For you, unfortunately, Elias, the air tastes gross. Like the moment you come in here, as you inhale, it has a thickness to it that settles into the back of your throat. And when you kind of try to clear your throat a little bit, you realize your spit kind of tastes like the way tobacco air tastes. You're just like, it's got kind of a burny scent to like taste to it. Like, ugh. And that's what you all see.
Tastes like home.
Yep. Moving through the casino, you see a couple of tables being played. You see what looks like various gamblers in various states playing sabak. You see, as I said, dice games.
All right. Well, first off, you know any games? You familiar with any of this?
We played some 5-card back on the farm, but this isn't anything like that.
All right. Well, you know what? That's fine. We'll start low bets. We'll work out some of that beginner's luck. You'll see. We'll see how luck is on your side or not. All right, and then we'll see about getting into some real action. All this stuff is the tourist stuff. We want the real action.
Do you think they do like sport shooting or something?
I mean, I'm sure there's some shooting done. But let's go and let's find a table.
Okay. You find a table that has 2 empty seats and some really timid-looking players that are kind of just enjoying their time playing sabak. A couple of humans. You see a Rhodian that is just kind of like making light conversation as they're looking at some of their cards. The 2 of you settle down at the table. Everyone nods to you. The human is an older gentleman, graying hair, scar across his face. He has he looks like he probably was born with pale skin, but has since spent a lot of time out underneath multiple suns. And it looks like he has kind of become a Robert Redford kind of looking gentleman, where he looks like he has just had some skin damage done from constant UV exposure. However, he is dressed very well and greets the lot of you with a small glass of alcohol as the rest of you all sit down and says, "Welcome, welcome, welcome, new players. New to sabak? Do you know how to play?"
I'm familiar, but why don't you give a refresher for my friend here?
Sure, rules are simple. He opens his mouth. And you hear, as he opens his mouth to start speaking, you hear, deal me in. And you see him freeze suddenly and his eyes open. Everyone's eyes are slowly drawn to a Trandoshan who is standing next to the table, wearing what looks like a yellowed suit with short sleeves and canisters all around the rim of the sleeves. He has what looks like a white vest over the top, a black collar around his neck, and you see weapons that probably should not have been allowed into the station hooked onto his sides. You see, it looks like he is covered in armory and leans down and he says, I do love a game of sabak. And that is where we are going to freeze this episode.
Oh, I got my sweet little Elias. It's some deep doo-doo.
Some pee-pee poo-poo. Wait, I need to Google what this looks like. What's it again?
Type in the name Bosk.
Bosk.
B-A-S-K?
B-O-S-S-K.
Oh, boy.
You really duty scored this up now.
Okay, but he kind of cute, though.
Okay, but Vanna, just to give you some heads up, Bosk is responsible for some pretty horrific crimes against Wookiees.
Oh, well, he's not cute at all.
Trandoshans or Wookiees are enemies. They hate each other.
Okay.
And the worst part is he survives canonically to retire on Endor, so I can't murk him.
Hey, I'm not bound to canon. If you all want to blow up the Death Star,
different timeline, baby.
Yeah, I don't give a damn.
Ember Squad is beta canon, so we're allowed more room.
Why not? Yeah.
All right.
Now,
fire the vengeful cannon next week.
Bosk and particularly Bosk and Chewbacca do not like each other very much. They are very not friendly. But anyway, Vanna, this can't be this can't be the last time you play with us.
I'll keep coming back if you keep making the mistake of inviting me.
Excellent. This is a mistake I refuse to stop making. That's going to do it for us. I do want to give a big shout out and thanks to Krug tonight, who covered for Jake, who's out of town. Krug, thank you so much for being our TD. Deeply appreciated. Also, Jake should be back with us, but always stay safe, Jake, if you're out there. So real quick, as we're wrapping up again, I just wanted to let you guys know the unspent points from Q40 do not go away until they are spent. So we will carry those over until they are all used. And we are deeply, deeply grateful and send all of our love to Q40's family. And we as a community of Ox Crew and Streampunks, we send our love out to our comrade. That's going to wrap it up for us tonight. So thank you so much, as always, for supporting and being here for this wild game that's come out of the blue. We will catch you next Monday night. Until then, my friends, may the Force be with you.